streaming. Let's see. We are live.
Oh my god.
All right. I think it's live. Oh, yeah, we're live. All right. And I didn't set it to private, so it's just public as is.
Well, shit.
It's fine. It's fine.
We're on YouTube?
Yeah, we're on YouTube tonight.
Okay. I'm pulling up some stuff. And then I will at everybody.
Okay. We're streaming at 720p. That's all we need. Yeah, just annoy everyone with the net everyone thing. Why not?
Well, if they're annoyed, fuck them.
Can't say that on stream, dude.
Oh.
What's that laugh? What the fuck?
What can you say on stream? It's my Dick Dastardly impersonation laugh.
What do you think of the stream title?
Lie. Let's see. Roasting other anitubers for clicks. That's not what I was intending.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah. So
Put I don't know. Let's call it like Anitube Audit
you
or
fucking
something.
do it.
I guess I can.
I'm busy doing nothing. All right, put the fucking ping out. All right, get off your lazy ass.
Oh my god.
So people can know we're fucking streaming.
There, I changed the title for you. Let's see. The two people who are watching, I don't know who you are, but hi.
Well, I think one of them's me because I just have it open a new tab, and then
It might just be both of us.
we're literally just streaming to ourselves right now. And then
We're gonna be streaming. 1, 2, all, and hang out.
we're so back.
Back where? I can't believe we're gonna react to Mr. Beast next.
It's really funny. I'm not used to seeing just the default YouTube page. So it's I guess this is the content that YouTube just tries to recommend you if it knows nothing about you. So we've got Mr. Beast.
If what?
So what did I drop out?
You did for a second.
Yeah, 77 drop frames. Fucking goddamn it. So I guess this is the content that YouTube tries to recommend you if it doesn't know anything about you. I'm surprised how it's an interesting mix of recent news, I guess, but then also old videos. We've got a 2-year-old Mr. Beast video and a 3-year-old Dream video. 7 hours ago, 9 hours ago, 4 weeks ago, 2 years ago. So I don't understand. I think it's just trying to cast as wide of a net as possible. Do you want news? Do you want gaming? Do you want firearm stuff? TV? Insane, I don't know, challenges? I don't know what this video is.
Pawn Stars?
Well, no, I mean this one, this Sniper Wolf. I don't.
Wait. What?
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. I'm not streaming to you. Hold on. That would probably help.
It might.
All right. Can you see it now?
Remember, kids, we're professionals.
We're professionals.
Yeah, I see it.
All right. Let's see. First, you're not first, unfortunately, Egg. Scout beat you to the punch. I regret calling in the expert.
Yeah, interesting.
This
Very.
is creepy.
the babies. The kid
This
being
content is
frozen.
like- How is this content like monetized, let alone like promoted to like the front page?
It's a good question.
Yeah, YouTube's like fucked. So what are we doing tonight, Mumi? Are we you said we are going to be like shit talking like larger YouTubers for drama?
Yes, we're gonna shit all over all the biggest YouTube names you could think of.
Yep.
No.
We're not? Are we
No.
Oh, we're shit talking smaller YouTubers.
Yes, the people who can't fight back.
People who can't fight back. All right, we're
No, because like, so especially over the last couple of days, but just in general, we've always kind of just gone through and just tried to find like people who are not, in the sphere of like, on Anitube Digest or whatever, or aren't
YouTubers
hitting the
people
algorithm.
don't talk about, or at least people in our circles don't talk about.
Right. So we're always trying to find, because like we do that with like anime too, right? We're always trying to find like obscure anime. So we're just trying to find obscure YouTubers.
Well, originally when we did this, we were like just looking for people who are insane and like weirdly like bad content, and we found those before. I think you care more about like finding like videos that like YouTubers that are actually making like quality content but are getting a lot of like attention.
Yeah. That would be me.
And us with our legion of fans gonna give it to them. X gonna give it to you.
One digit of them.
What the fuck?
What?
What is this? Random video I have saved on my phone, part 4. Why?
I was just getting lost in
How I prepared for my junior prom.
the YouTube algorithm of
Babies.
random people.
They're just like, I guess it would make sense if there are just like a lot of like stay-at-home moms watching YouTube now. So that would honestly explain a lot of this. Not gonna lie.
Sorry, I'm pulling up one more channel.
Oh yeah. You pull these up and like send them to me, and I'll put them up on stream.
Yeah. Also, I guess for context, like, a lot of people that are watching this are probably familiar with Anitube Digest. Shapes does a really good job about platforming channels that how to put a video out that week. Kind of platform that video for them.
Oh Jesus Christ!
But obviously, the limit that you have to digest is like he has to come across those videos, right?
Yeah, or someone has to like post them in like his Discord or some shit.
Yeah, someone has to come across them. What is this? What are you doing? They have to come across
That video
them.
is scary. It really is. This isn't even all of them. This is just like a small number.
Yeah. That's just what from like 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Wow. Should do another one.
Just with all however many videos he has on the channel now.
Yeah, how many? I don't even know how many. Oh god, there's so many.
Hey, it's Shave.
Hello, Shabes.
Hey, Shabes.
So yeah, it's like, I guess it's because like, pay attention I pay attention to digest that I recognize most of these names. I don't recognize this one, this one, this one, or this one.
Well, Piss Pirates is Shaves' podcast about One Piece.
Oh, okay. That would probably explain why I don't know anything about One Piece.
Pyramid Inu's done videos on like mecha stuff.
Can't see the names? Oh, you can't see the names. That's really funny.
Well, you're blocking like the bottom
like,
part of that
yeah,
list.
because maybe if I zoom out, that's a little better. Although I don't know if they're like readable now.
Yeah, we kind of just go through and like find random small channels, just frantically.
Yeah.
Like at what we just type in anime, search by most recent
I'm
results.
kind of scared to on stream.
Well, you don't have to right now.
Because we get some results that are not necessarily appropriate. Sometimes. We also run into a constant problem of getting content that is not in English.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a good feature for YouTube to have, to not let you select content by like region, but by language, because the YouTube video already automatically detects like what like language is being spoken. Like here,
Yes.
English.
Yeah.
So that's already part of the video's metadata. So I don't understand why that wouldn't be a search variable when looking for content. It would make my life a lot easier.
Bugs me to no end. The
We
amount
end
of
up getting, I guess I can. Let me try this real quick. So.
What are we doing? What's that? Pulling up the Brave search engine. What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm pulling up upload date. I'm searching for anime analysis to see. I want to make sure we don't get like porn accidentally. I think we're good. Yeah, yeah, we're good. Let me type in review, actually. That might be better than analysis. Yeah. Here we go. So, yeah, you'll see that there's a lot of content that's just in Vietnamese. Now, I can't really say whether or not this content is good or bad, because I can't fucking understand what they're saying, because I don't speak Vietnamese. Please do not show me Vietnamese videos. They serve no purpose to me.
Well, you can just pull out Google Translate.
Google Translate?
Have it translate.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they expect you to do. It is Google after all.
So, this is like generally what we do. We just like do this and then we just scroll through. Like I think there is like, here's one. Oh, that's in Spanish. God damn it.
Well, there's this, and then there's also, which is also limited, but you can also go through like comments on like smaller videos, or like the subscription lists of like different people, and find just random channels they came across at some point and subscribe to.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
there is a meta to finding other channels on the platform.
A meta that I think only we care about is a podcast? Look at that. Is this an anime podcast? I don't know. Oh, yeah, it is. Look at this. Kinda.
Yeah, see, there you go.
We found something. Is it
Many schoolyard and
not this one. Let's come back to that.
Welcome everybody to what?
I actually don't know. So I guess I would call it a nuanced understanding of like different parts of the entertainment industry and.
Oh yes,
Crazy, like, murder plot
This is
lines,
honestly
Well-known
better than most of the
reincarnation
podcasts we
plot
come across.
lines, everyone's like famous
Killer
plot
69's
lines,
channel.
We're
try not to be
we
mean.
read what we see, and what we see is.
Do they want?
Yeah, the idea is
YouTube
not necessarily to,
recommendations? I
like-
recently found a whole slew of reviewers I've never even heard of, but I don't know if they make analytical content. I mean, just send them our way, basically. You know.
Yeah, I've got a list
Hey,
of like some
girl.
channels that we're gonna be taking a look
What
at.
is it?
All of them are under 1,000 subscribers. So be nice to them. Shit's hard, dude. Like YouTube algorithm is fucking cruel. There are people I've come across people recently who have been fucking like making like reviews and like content and shit for literally over a decade, and they still only have like 200 subscribers, and they're just going at like they recently posted stuff like within a last few months, and it's like, dog, how do you do this? Like,
Feels super dumb when looking for non-algorithmic content now. It feels so much harder. It really is. YouTube is very bad at like, cause like here's the thing. Like, if I'm not logged in, but if I like search up anime review and I scroll down, it will give me shorts. Fine, but then it's like people also watched, and it's like I don't care. This is not what I searched for. Fuck off. Channels new to you. Here we go. I don't think these are in English. Maybe they are. Wait. I'm always concerned because sometimes these are like in Hindi. Place your bet. Yep, Indian anime. It's going to be in Hindi, isn't it?
stops then आज वाली वीडियो तुम लोगों के लिए because आज के वीडियो में मैं तुम लोगों को
I'm
रिकमेंड
not
करूंगा 10
interested
ऐसे
in Hindi
creepy and
content,
dark
YouTube, because I do not speak Hindi.
there's also this other factor of like when you're in like small channel spaces, like
For
small
you.
channels,
Why? What about this is for me?
everything. I think you clearly are interested in this. You're getting very passionate about it.
I'm getting very angry. This is what happens when we do this.
I don't know why you're getting angry. Just because it says for you.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to set this to dark mode, like a civilized person. There we go. Much better.
There's another channel I remembered. I'm pulling up.
Which one? This one?
No,
Or like not on stream?
not on stream. No.
Okay.
I haven't sent you. I've got probably about 10 channels that we can go through. But I guess tangentially kind of related to, this as a topic. I've also kind of been going through like, Anitube content. And it's like in the sense of like meta Anitube content, right? Like people talking about Anitube as a space or being a part of like Anitube. And it reminded me of like the trash taste thing where they're like shitting on like Anitube tier lists and shit. And how they were kind of saying that basically they're in so many words they were saying
for context or
we can. I mean, it's basically like I don't really like most of the video. I don't necessarily think we have to watch the whole video.
no.
But to like summarize it, like the thing that like stands out that I kind of agree with sometimes is like Anitube like as a name or a label can be a little too insular sometimes. And what kind of brought that thought to mind was like a video I came across from a smaller channel, like less than 900 subscribers, where it was, it's kind of a love letter in a sense to like being an anituber. And like everybody on there was like talking about how great of an experience being an anituber was, like really kind of romanticizing the idea of being in the Anitube space.
Yeah,
but not
I could
necessarily
not watch that video because it was the first guest started speaking, and it was like so like sappy. I had to like stop because I was going to throw up while I was like walking down the street.
I mean, there is like, I'm not saying that there's not like a place to be like grateful to like other creators around you that are helping you, and I mean, God knows we fucking had, like leech off of like other people's like audiences all the time.
What are you talking about? He says while Trash Taste is on stream. Stop this, by the way. Stop having this be why is this a fucking option? Goddamn ambient mode.
but like this idea of like romanticizing the label of being an Anitube is kind of bizarre to me. Like, especially when you take into account that a lot of the channels that were featured in that video talking about how great it was to be an Anituber, I think like 5 of them stopped making videos around the time that video went up. And it's just kind of like, it's just really weird and
Oh no.
bizarre. And I don't like of
I'm
all
sorry,
the
I
things
cut
that they
out.
were
Say
kind of
that
saying,
again.
but
Dropped frames.
happened?
Fucking goddamn
oh,
it.
fuck. Like it's just a bizarre idea to like romanticize being an Anituber. Like not even necessarily like because like of all the things that they talk about in that fucking clip, which is fucking awful. I can agree that like this idea of like romanticizing like the label or the being in an Anitube sphere is kind of bizarre and like too insular and a bit circle jerky, where it's like you're not necessarily like trying to improve the content so much as like finding a place of like belonging within like this content creation sphere, which is fine, but like I don't know. It makes like for some weird shit, and like the problem kind of arises when like all these channels stop posting because like that they were just looking for like validation from like their peers, and like that's kind of what they talk about in the video. But the problem with this clip is they're directing it toward like larger channels, right? Like it's very clear who they're talking about, like especially when you like contextualize like Giga's, I guess, follow up to this, where he's like on Onimaru's podcast. Like it's very clear who they're kind of referring to with this, and like what space they're referring to.
You know exactly who they're referring to.
They're not referring to these channels who only have like a few hundred subscribers, post like a dozen videos, and then dip, because they were just looking for like friends to like be in the space with, and then once they kind of had that community built, they just stopped making content together. Like that can actually be kind of an issue, because like it's kind of what we touched on with when we did the podcast the podcast with Shades of you know, there's so many like new channels that are coming around that are kind of flooding the algorithm, that it does kind of create this like crabs in a bucket effect, where to have like a dozen channels that are just all kind of like friends with each other who are just like making a few videos and then dip, like that does kind of poison the well for a lot of like smaller channels that are trying to, you know, kind of break into the space. So it was an interesting thing. I kind of was tangentially related to what we were doing right now, but it was something that we were kind of thinking of and talking about earlier before we started streaming. So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of bring up.
Most of the people I know, as someone who came from Anitube live reactions, most of the people I know from the time I started don't exist anymore. Yeah, it'd be interesting to like know, like, Shaves, I see you in chat. It'd be interesting. You'd probably be the best person to like speak on this. What like the average lifespan of your typical Anituber is?
And it's like I get it to a degree, right? Because like it's actually fucking like heartbreaking when you come across channels who have been posting for fucking a decade and are still active, and they only have 200 subscribers.
200 subscribers.
And it's like,
they're only getting like
how
10
do you
views.
do this? Like,
Yeah, I don't.
I
think there's a thing where it's like I don't understand. Yeah, the mentality of that really. Like there's you know, there's like a thing where it's like you obviously don't want to like quote unquote sell out or whatever the fuck, you know.
right.
But you can still do things to like just generally promote your content. So seeing like stuff like this kind of just baffles me, because I think, and I don't know if it's a thing where it's like they don't care about. I think they do care about getting views to an extent,
Right.
Because they just don't know how. It's not that hard, at least to like, you know, not getting like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of views, but like I don't know. I think we do all right.
Yeah. Like,
Probably just, like,
we
videos for
definitely
their
don't
friends,
have the
yeah.
space to complain that some other channels do. Like,
Right.
don't mistake like what we're saying as far as like algorithm and stuff goes as like us complaining about ourselves, because we're doing it all right. Like, we're specifically talking about these channels that we're gonna kind of highlight some that have like a few hundred like views. Like there are channels that
Like
have been
total
doing this.
views.
Yeah, there are channels that have been doing this for like 12 years that average like 100 views a year. And it's like, man, like what? How? But yeah, I guess I will link you some, and we can just start like. So the idea is we're not necessarily gonna like watch through all of their videos. So like, if you want to, if you're expecting us to like kind of critique like their videos in depth or
Yeah.
anything like that, we're not going to be doing anything like that. It's going to be more like a presentational kind of perspective, because like we will go like we do this like on our own time, and we kind of will like look for content that seems like it's interesting to us that hasn't like been introduced to us through the algorithm or whatever. And so this is kind of going to be like the perspective of like when you find a new channel to be like, oh, is this kind of content going to be interesting to me? And like looking past just like the SEO of it, like the thumbnail or whatever, and kind of looking at like what they're kind of talking about, to where you like bookmark it or whatever, say like, oh yeah, I'll check this out later, or like, you know, just X the tab and just not ever think about that channel again. But yeah, let's. So the first.
All right. What do we got? Well, what the hell do we have first?
So this one, I'll have you pull this one up, because this one is kind of the one I've been talking about, as like the prototypical example of like this channel has been going on. What is this? 12 years. They started doing reviews about 10 years ago. So they've been
Ducky's
active.
Diary.
Yes.
All right.
They do we had a somewhat of a discussion about like how Anitube, like not Anitube, but YouTube as a whole has kind of like quote unquote sold out, where it's like everything's too overproduced. Like they don't make like soulful content anymore. Like people just talking in their room to a webcam or something. This is what this is. This channel has not changed in over a decade.
Well,
Like it's just her kind of giving her thoughts on stuff she's watching.
these AMVs.
And she does have some AMVs. Like I think her oldest content is
All
a
right.
lot
Yeah.
of
So
them are
let's look at
AMVs.
let's look at their first review. Where the hell is it? I see review number 2.
Maybe it got deleted.
Maybe it got deleted. All right. We'll go with review number 2. Crystal Blade.
Yeah, so
Glass.
I guess
Maiden?
what we'll do is we'll watch like their first video, their most popular video, and their last video, and just kind of skim through a bit, like watch the beginning and stuff like that, kind of critique like what they could do to improve, kind of thing. And don't take this as like necessarily like gospel, right? Like this is just us kind of we want to more use this as a way to like platform smaller channels more so than actually like give them a critique. Like this is more like, hey, this is a way for us to say, like, kind of give you a shout out. If you want to take the advice that we're giving, cool. If you don't, you don't have to. This is just kind of like what our perspective is going to be. Like you could look at us as like potential like audience people, right? And be like, well, I might be losing these people for these reasons. That they're drawn to my channel for these reasons. You know, make of it what you will. You know, it's not necessarily like us going to be like shitting on you for, you know, having like a certain kind of content, because not all content's going to be for us. But like even if it's not for us, like this is still us just kind of being like, I hope you succeed. I hope you do better in whatever you want to do. This is like us kind of helping you out in any way that we can, kind of thing.
All right.
So yeah, let's check out their
watch
first video.
Naruto. Oh, you want to do? I was gonna say Naruto because that just seems like the
Yeah, let's do that, because that's one that we've both seen, I guess, or like
Yeah.
have some familiarity with.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in for another review. I review things for fun, but I hope they're progressively getting
2013.
better. That said, I will be the first
Yeah, her
to
mic
admit
quality
that
is.
I've been avoiding this
I'm
one.
sorry
Cozy.
if it's
For
too
clarification's
quiet. I
sake,
can't do
let me
anything
say
about
that
it.
it's not just because of the really strong opinions everyone seems to have. This show has a really strong fan base as well as a really strong anti-fan base, I guess I'll call it. And yes, that is a little daunting because I'm sure there will be a lot of hate no matter what side I come down on, which is why I started this out with stressing that I do reviews for fun, and these are my opinions that you don't need to agree with. But if you take something away from this, great.
It's
But
like
no, the main reason
JPEGs.
I've stayed away from this review is that the show
Phone
is
call
so
review?
long.
This is like
Yeah.
10 years. This
As
is,
far as
well,
I know,
okay.
it's still
2013
ongoing,
was.
but I've seen very little of
10 years
content,
ago.
So this review will only address the
People were doing
features
videos in
of the content.
2013.
So for a
This does
brief
feel very much
description,
like
Naruto is a
2007,
little boy
2008.
named Naruto who
Yeah,
wants
this
to be a
feels
ninja.
antiquated by
The show is set in
2013
another
standards.
universe where the world is pretty much split up into the
Sid
ninja
Snap
villages.
should collab with this
Naruto has
girl.
been orphaned since birth and has spent his life ostracized by pretty much his
Is this
entire
just going
village.
to be the
By
whole
the end
video?
of the
Oh, it
first
is.
episode, you learn that the reason
Oh
for
my
his
lord,
isolation
it
is because a
is.
demon that nearly
All right,
destroyed
well,
their
you know.
village was locked away inside of him.
Maybe that's all you had access to in 2013.
And this is 10 years ago.
Yeah,
It's
it's, you know, just... The
Let's,
text is compressed. What is this? 240p. Okay, that's why. Yeah, maybe
Let's
yeah,
take a look
maybe-
at some of their newer stuff. Like,
all right.
let's see how their content has progressed.
Latest. All right, we got Girl in the
So
Twilight, Kanan.
Children of the Sea.
Yeah,
We've
let's do
seen
that.
Children of the Sea.
I've seen Children of the Sea. I've seen 91 Days. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this one though.
Hello, viewers. Thank you for
Her
joining
mic quality's
me.
instantly improved.
April was kind of a weird month.
Still doing the
My
green
focus
text.
was very scattered.
Also, we have
I
music
actually
now.
watched and read quite a few things to completion, and I've started at least 3 scripts for ideas I hope to turn
Her
into
audio
I kinda
videos.
love
isn't
this
bad. It's
narration.
got- but it's got like that ASMR quality.
That's what I was gonna say. I love this narration because it's like almost unintentional ASMR.
Yeah,
Like, you
I
just
guess
put it on in the
I
background.
don't really like it, but yeah, I think people could be into that.
Videos in the near future,
But it's
but
yeah,
nothing
a
got
vast
finished
improvement.
yet.
In
When
10
it became
years.
apparent that I'd be kicking off May with another movie, I decided to grab
You know,
one
this
that's been
Anitube
sitting
thing
on
doesn't
my
pan
shelf
out.
for a while,
There's
with
a whole
no
market for,
idea
like,
of the scope of
specification
what I was getting
hypnosis
into.
videos.
They're really
I should mention that I hadn't planned
your
on
ASMR
reading the
hypnotic
manga
voice.
too, but I have no idea what this review would have looked like if I hadn't, because I was kind of at a loss after the movie ended. My main takeaway after that experience was, alright, either I'm not smart enough for this movie, the creators were on some serious drugs, or both. And I guess both of those things might still be true.
Is this meant to be
but
like a
the manga
podcast? Is this like is this going to be the okay? No, there's going to be
Definitely shed light on a few
changing
things. So with that
This is very-
introduction,
Yeah, she has very, very minimal
Children of the
video
Sea
editing.
introduces
Okay,
us
so we've
to a
gone
young girl
from-
named
240 feet to. You know, I no longer even have that as an option. It's just these 3. I don't know how that's possible.
Ruka on her first day of summer vacation, a vacation that's looking very different from what she had planned, as she's just been kicked off her sports team for lashing out and hurting one of her teammates. Ruka doesn't really have any friends. She struggles
So she's
to
doing like
express
the
herself.
standard like
Plot
Review
synopsis
kinda set
of
up.
thing. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
you're summarizing and stuff, which I don't. I kind of wish like people would kind of get away from that. Like, I don't really know who that necessarily. Like, you could do like a summary in like
Shut
30
up, this
seconds,
channel
right?
instead.
like you don't necessarily like you can give the context they need without necessarily making your video kind of like a nostalgia critic kind of format where you kind of do a whole summary critiquing it as they go, or like even like just doing like a 5-minute summary and then talking about it with like for 5 minutes.
Can you guys hear Mumi's dogs in the background? Because I can.
Yeah, see, this is the bad thing about streaming. I can't not
This is-
talk.
This is why we edit our podcasts. Yeah, I think it's really just a thing here. Where it's like use video, you know, or at least like you can do some stuff like with manga pretty well as well. You, at the very least, like panning over it. There's this guy, Pause and Select. He does some really good tutorials on on how to edit manga.
Well, this is probably a good example of like what we were talking about. Like, there are people that aren't necessarily gonna want to do like what we kind of like are suggesting that could improve their videos with, and that's fine. Like, clearly she's kind of got her own thing kind of going on that she just wants to like kind of blog her thoughts
Doing this
on
for
a show
goddamn
after she
10
finishes
years,
it. Yeah, like clearly she's getting something out of it outside of like building an audience. Like, that's not the priority for her. If she's been doing this for 10 years, hasn't necessarily like changed her content to like try to appeal to like the algorithm, and is still going strong. Like, This is what, a month ago, a month and a half ago.
Yeah, back in May. Well, let's take a look at their most viewed video.
See why it might have taken off. Zoid's
Hello,
Guardian Force.
viewers. Welcome to the second half of my requested Zoids review. For anyone new, Guardian Force
audio
is a
is better.
direct
It's still
sequel,
very
technically
quiet.
the second half of the same season to Chaotic Century. So if you don't know what's happened up to this point in the first
So I assume this
34
video
episodes, I
did
suggest you
so
go
well
watch that
because
review
there's
first.
like that's the thing with like
There
mecha
will
content,
also
right?
listen
Is
to
it
two
the
reviews.
Like,
only
there's a
video
big-
on
There was just
Zoids?
too much to discuss in
It's
one.
probably not the only
But
video
now
on
I'm glad I
Zoids,
did
but
for another reason.
people that like
The
mecha
overall
really
focus
like
and tone
mecha,
of
and there is
Guardian Force
not a
very
lot of mecha
different from
content out
Chaotic
there.
Century. But
So
I'll
you talk
get
about
to
like
that.
Macross or like Gundam and like
Because there was so much
you're gonna
going
get
on in
shit
this
ton of
show,
views.
I tried to limit my first review to discussing only the plot points and characters who were necessary to understanding the story. And then, of course,
I can see this kind of content as being a personal diary of sorts, which is probably her motivation to keep uploading.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying.
Okay.
Like,
It's like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, no, I mean, I'm literally not even making this for like, yeah, it's literally just to remind myself what I thought, almost. Which I can see that to an extent.
yeah, her videos are nice. We could have skipped to like the middle. Go like to the Children of Sea one. Skip to the middle and kind of see
All right.
how she kind of
going
like
back
delves
into the
into it.
ocean. What comes next is the part I'm having some trouble with. The bare basics of what happens are Ruka swallows the meteorite and gains a similar sort of
Maybe
connection.
Spoilers, I
With
guess,
it.
for Children
She
of
is
the
then
Sea, although
swallowed
it's a
by a
weird
whale,
movie, so
maybe literally, it's a little
have fun
unclear,
trying to
and
make
has some
sense of
sort of
it.
vision where the ocean and outer space converge.
Yeah, who
before
comments on these
passing the
videos, Joe
meteorite
asked?
off to Umi.
Yeah, let's see. No one.
This one has no comments.
Let's go to the most popular one. If you don't have much time, why review a series that is lengthy? Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Zoids and a review, just mere curiosity is all. One comment.
Only
One
comment.
comment out of 13,000 views.
On this cozy, like, just girl giving like journalistic kind of thoughts on anime is just, why are you doing it?
Why? Well, I guess that's what we're doing right now. It's like, why? Why are you doing this? Get her on? I don't know how we can contact this individual.
And we can ping them. Maybe they'll just.
Here we go. I use this space to post anime reviews of whatever I happen to be watching at the time, and the occasional AMV, both of questionable quality, perhaps, but I have fun making them. I like having the space to put my thoughts out there and interact with other anime fans, see how our views of things may have lined up or differed. I'm open to taking requests as well. I think it's an interesting way to find shows I may not have watched otherwise. I do my best to respond to comments and fulfill anime requests in a timely manner, but please note that YouTube is not a job for me. It's a hobby. I suppose I can only hope that someone else gets something out of my videos as well. Thank you for taking the time to read this, Ducky Lover 151.
Based. Yeah.
Is this a
She has a
Digimon
cozy- nice
avatar? I
cozy-
wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's like all the crests of Digimon Adventure.
Okay.
But yeah, she was one I wanted to do first, just because she kind of fit into what we were kind of talking about. People like doing this for years. But here's one I'll link you. They haven't been doing it for as long, and maybe have a bit more promise as far as like wanting to grow, or like having kind of an desire to like reach a wider audience more so than just blog their own thoughts.
Figamin.
Figamin.
I feel like I'm on like.
I feel like
say a slur.
I feel like they might have been on Anitube Digest, and I don't remember, but
Let's see, what do we got? Well, okay, well, which one? I guess we should start off by reading their about section. Average Ron appreciator.
based.
I can't look at Twitter. What the hell is Wapchan?
That apparently is a image
Right.
board that they're a moderator of.
I'm afraid to click on this.
I clicked on it before. It seems like it might be dead. Like I think the only last post was like 2022.
Well, we have a post from 2 days ago.
Oh.
Thanks to the 5 of you that voted, it seems that change is really unpopular, so boards will be split again. I'm going to be messing around with stuff less. Okay. This is
Yeah, I have no idea what
interesting.
the hell this is, but it's cool, I guess.
All right. Interesting. Well, all right. So what video should we watch?
I like the thumbnail and the title of the Hibari-kun video. that goes so fucking hard to me.
Oh.
It's like, you can't stop Hibari-kun.
Somebody stop me.
She will not be stopped.
All right.
You never really know what you're gonna get when you watch an anime. Sometimes you get a really deep, emotional story. Sometimes you get an epic, sprawling tale.
Kind of getting Kenny
And
vibes.
sometimes you just get something light but enjoyable in its uniqueness, and that's how I feel about Stop Hibari-kun.
Please stop. I'm serious.
Cease.
Yamero.
Published from 1981 to 1983, this off-the-walls rom-com has a little bit of everything. Sports, drama, yakuza, 80s pop charm.
Have you ever seen
and at the center
Hibari-kun?
of it all, a main character
seen
who is
episodes
definitely
that you
pushing
like
the
watching
boundaries
in
of
here.
shonen at the time,
Oh, you've
and
seen a
manages
couple-
to be
I've seen a couple
relatable
of
to many,
seasons.
Couple of
even
episodes.
today. In this video, we're going to look at how Hisashi Eguchi, the man behind it all, got started, some highlights of the series itself, and the legacies both the series and its creator left behind. Also, just a disclaimer, I'm not part of the LGBT community myself, so I can't personally speak on behalf of any group. I've tried to do my best with this video, but as always, if you had a different opinion regarding a series, comments about it would really be appreciated. Trying to get a better perspective about all of this.
Yeah, I think
With
this is a
that
good
out of the way,
intro.
This is a good intro. Yeah.
Let's see how Eguchi got into manga.
Like, it doesn't put me off. Like, it's
No.
not like I'm like, just skip to the middle or whatever.
I guess it's
like,
one of those
nice
things
kinda...
where I also have mush mouth syndrome, so maybe like enunciation could probably be like worked on a bit.
See, I'm not necessarily thinking about that kind of thing. That's
Well,
why
I
it's
guess-
good to have other
I guess
people's
it's one of those
perspectives.
things. Since I'm self-conscious about it, I notice it in other people.
I wouldn't say I was not self-conscious about it. I just don't think about it
English
very
is a
much.
second language.
I try to avoid thinking about it.
Suppress those thoughts. Alright.
I feel like
Hisashi Eguchi
If you're
was
gonna do a
born
video
March
on something
29th,
like this,
1956, in the city
if
of
you're just gonna
Minamata.
put borders, like,
As a young boy,
it might just
the
be
first
better
Dom
to
drawing
like
was seeing
You can
just do
crop
it in
the vid-
4:3.
Honestly, yeah. If you're already working within this frame of 4:3 completely, yeah, just crop. Just have the video be 4:3. It's fine. You're already
think-
kind
I
of.
think- I think Kenny made like a post on Twitter about it where
This
he's
is why.
like, yeah, like most people watch stuff on their phones in portrait mode anyway. Just like there's no like they'll get more screen out of you doing it in 4:3. There's like no downside. You're
I
doing a
I think
4:3
this
video.
is the issue right here is that they have this 16:9 video, which is a cool intro.
You could just crop that.
You
I mean,
could,
it does
you
look
might-
nice in widescreen, but
Yeah, you might lose some stuff in the. Like, you can probably like move like this stuff and still be fine. Why are the drop shadows on the inside? Yeah, I was wondering that too. It makes it seem like, yeah, like these borders are like elevated up from the video.
That's why
I mean,
he'd become
It's more interesting, but I don't think it's. Yeah, I think you just have the video in 4:3, honestly.
out with Makoto. But then this turns
The
into
video
another love
ultra
story.
wide.
Rei
I need
Kawai joining as
content
the
that
club's
appeals to my
manager,
ultra
with them
wide
really exploring this
monitor.
dynamic when they all go on a training camp retreat. Some of the story beats are pretty stock, like how in chapter 20 we're introduced to Joe Notori, the captain of the girls' volleyball team who tries to get Hibari to join the team. And even though she's better than the captain herself, doesn't want to join.
I think you could do like
Tough
something
volleyball
that make
girls
the
are nothing
manga
new
look a
manga
bit
by
more
this
like
time. Heck,
interesting
there
when
are
he's
countless
talking about it.
examples.
Yeah.
What
Okay, so this is weird.
Like I don't think we do like the
manga by
best
this
at
time. Heck, there are
making
countless
manga look
examples.
interesting, but
What
Getting
makes
better.
her
it's
a
something
bit
that's
more
like
interesting is not
effective
only
and
seeing
like
her
simple.
family,
Yeah,
but
but
the
it doesn't
it's
take
hard
like a
to-
lot of
flamboyant,
time.
Manga
masculine
is
as
hard to
look,
work with. 'cause
but
it's
even
obviously
herself
not
having a
movie
bit of a
medium.
crush on Hibari.
Also, I'm sorry, this gave me a bad flashback to a bad anime that I
That fucking was
You
it
know what?
Gucci.
Hisashi Eguchi Nantoka Korosho? Something like that. Don't
Yeah.
look it up. Don't watch it. It's moving on.
quaint masculine-esque look, but even herself having a bit of a crush on Hibari.
Yeah,
Thought Hibari kind of sold these exaggerated portrayals of people, while some of them haven't really aged well at all. And I mean really.
Oh no.
Oof.
Oh no.
I appreciate how to not be down
no.
upon. Sure, many of the characters in the story think they're strange, but the whole series has this let's get weird energy. Kinda like Urusuyatsu, but definitely taken to more of an extreme when it comes to pushing the boundaries of the day. At the core of this is the main girl herself, Hibari.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna have the manga featured so prominently,
Hibari's
you
gender
have to do
identity
something
is definitely the most striking
little bit
element to most
more
when they think of
engaging.
the series, so let's explore it.
Yeah.
In her everyday
You can
life,
definitely do more of
especially at
these
school,
visuals here because you're just showing the full pages.
Yeah.
And there's just very like simple things you can do to make a manga panel more interesting. And if it features like this prominently, if your video is essentially just
Half of
manga
it's
pages
manga
over
panels.
blurred out footage of the anime, I think you can like take this in a better direction.
Yeah. I do appreciate to a degree, like, he is just showing the manga when he's talking about the manga, because there is that inclination of, like, when you're talking about manga, to just show the anime adaptation,
Yeah.
where it does kind of, like, have that weird, like, are they talking about the anime, or are they talking about the manga? Like, so it is nice that he's just has the manga on screen. It would be good to, like, make it more engaging.
advertising and cover work right up until the Higuchi himself found success after Stop Hibari-kun, not only working various supporting roles in the anime industry and writing shorter manga, but also working on other small projects.
Some of these are also a little bit too fast.
Various supporting roles in the anime industry and writing shorter manga.
I
The
think
OVA for that
also-
is a banger, by the
it's
way.
a banger, by the way. What's this? I forget what the hell's it called. It's a boxing.
It's like it's the guy's name.
Yeah.
Jamie, pull it up. And by
Uh,
Jamie, I mean me.
yeah, you pull it up. I'm the one.
You're streaming.
But also working on other
Higuchi, that's
small
what it is.
projects, such as being
What was it?
Eiji.
Eiji. Thank you.
the first editor-in-chief of CosmicKeep, a magazine dedicated to one-shots by established mangaka. However, Higuchi is probably most known these days for his work as an illustrator, as his pop art style has made him highly sought after in advertising and cover work right up until the present day. Doing work for Jenny's Japan, Xanax, a hair product unrelated to the drug,
Yeah, this is
Dental
something
for
interesting. Do they? Right here,
a
yeah.
5
This is something you
processor,
can do.
and the covers of every issue.
Site sources. We got some interviews. Just art. Yeah, that's all right. It's a good video.
Yeah.
I mean, it talks about some stuff I think is interesting. They got some pretty good views. They get better views than us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That video did at least.
That video, yeah. Some of these videos do pretty well. Some of them, I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Well, why did this one not do as well?
He just uploaded this one like last week.
Yeah.
Wow. It's been a while. What happened?
I guess maybe that's probably why as well. You should ask them for a shout out. God damn it.
Wow. It's been a while. What happened? Well, mostly, I got busy. Videos got stuck in development hell. Filming in my tiny dorm room, total non-starter. When I had to go through 3 revisions of a failed video, and it doesn't even come out, that just kinda saps my engagement. But, it's been a long time. It's been
Get
a whole
them on.
year, in fact.
How did we I
Ever
guess they
since
do
I
have a
started.
Discord.
Again, it's like the 3rd time I rebooted my channel. But, now we're gonna start. So, just so you know,
Just like bring
I
on
do owe
every
you a
person we
Miyuki
talk
video.
about on
I
here,
didn't
but then
forget
it's
about
like
this previous stuff I promised. All that
we
stuff
never
will
like
get
ask
out
them to like
eventually.
leave.
But before I get to
So
that,
it's just
I
the
want to
call
start
just
with something
keeps getting
small scale,
bigger.
you know, get back in the groove. And, you know, coming back
Just
to
get more
YouTube
chaotic.
arena, it's never easy. Because unless you're big, you're just
What do you think
a
about this person that we're talking about? Like 12 people.
Yeah.
I think I want to go home.
Now, I'm going to admit that I don't really know a lot about wrestling, because getting all sweaty in a mat is not really my thing. But since this OVA focuses around women's wrestling,
You all right there?
That just got me. What?
Figamin's subscriber count went up went up by 1 that day.
He was getting all sweaty on a mat just isn't my thing. This like got me off guard.
I mean, I agree. I don't really appreciate getting sweaty either. I mean, I don't know what's so funny.
What? It's not even meant to be a joke. I don't think, but it's just so stupid.
I mean, have you tried laying like in a bed or on a mat or something while you're all sweaty? It sucks. I don't know why this is so funny to you.
Oh God.
Fucking Northerners.
Holy fuck. Not expect that.
Particular, I figured I should do some research. Now, for decades,
Still with
women's
the
wrestling
borders,
was,
though.
and for a lot of people, still is, viewed like women's American football. Novelty at best, and pretty degrading at worst. In America, it wasn't uncommon to see fully gimmicky contests like bra and panties matches, which I'm sure you can figure out what the point of it was. No one was taking this stuff seriously, but in Japan, totally different. Thanks to All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling, aka Zenjo, women's wrestling became somewhat mainstream, particularly after the beauty pair tag team of Maki Ueda and Jackie
It's cool that he's
Sato
like going
Beauty pair,
over.
dirty
Like,
pair?
70s and became pop icons.
This is interesting.
By the way, that name went on
Yeah.
to inspire.
This is not.
What?
Just make it 4x3. Crop the quote. It'll be a little longer. Oh wait, is this like a dirty pair thing? Wait. At the
Yeah,
time it
that's
was
what-
popular. Okay. That's actually really interesting. I wish they cited sources, but yeah, this is an
Oof,
interesting
dirty
thing to
pair.
talk about.
Anyways, women's wrestling being at its peak in the 80s with teams like the Crush Gals and Jumping Bomb Angels, that's actually their name by the way, having legions of fans, it seemed almost inevitable that an anime would be made about this, and AIC really delivered with this fun and energetic OVA. Our two leads, Miki and Eri, aren't anything groundbreaking. Miki's more of a tomboy and Eri's more feminine, but they got the mocks needed to take over after Ran and Sue of the Dream Team get their teeth kicked in by the heavyset Foxy ladies. But sheer determination isn't
Yeah, I
gonna
think they're
build them
doing
up
good
fast
stuff.
enough.
Like, I
Yeah.
do think they
Showing
need
up some
to.
dummy
They need
picked
to.
on them.
If they're gonna
They
do a
need
lot of
training with the keto
OVAs and
corporation
like
led
have
by
these
Keto
borders, they just need to
Behind
lean
the
into
scenes,
the
there's more to meets the eye.
lean into 4x3.
You can tell the team
Yeah.
behind us
4x3 is
have
your friend.
You could just zoom it as well. Yeah.
having a lot of fun with all the animation references.
Yeah,
in the
well,
OVA. Not
That
just
is
other
like a
anime,
debate,
but a
right?
lot of
Because like
classic
I don't know if we should be zooming in or like do 4x3 on our stuff.
I don't know
I did
don't know what
4x3
the
for a
pinball
while.
borders are either.
But yeah, I just zoom in because like we have to use our fucking background, so it wouldn't work in 4x3. Yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff.
So you can
All
just
right.
not stop not posting for almost a year at a time. I think they'll be doing all right.
Yeah,
Getting better views than we are.
me looking at my channel being like, oh yeah, I need to finish that Son Goku video. Fuck.
They do stuff, interesting topics too. Though half of
Yeah.
them are just Urusei Yatsura. But
That's fine. I mean, it's a popular show.
what's the next one we can do? We'll do another like throwback video channel. And do this guy.
Old Weeb. I see this in the like Weeb crew recommended a lot.
Yeah, well I subbed to him, so that's why you're seeing it a lot.
What the hell?
Yeah, this guy is pretty much just like one of those like old school kind of YouTubers. Where he
anime
just,
reviews and more.
just we were talking about earlier of like the guy, someone sitting in their bedroom with a webcam. This is literally just that.
Okay. Well, let's do this thumbnail. It's unlike all of their other thumbnails.
Hey, so I finally watched Hellsing, the original anime, and this is something I've only been wanting to watch for about 20 years or so. I don't know why it took me so long, but I can remember back then in the early 2000s.
All right, so we'll right off the bat, kiss the anime watermark. We can do better than that.
I mean, this guy is like, this guy's an old weeb, right? Like,
Doesn't look that old.
he talks about he got an anime recommendation from his daughter, so that should put in perspective his
Oh.
age and kind of where he's coming
I've been
from.
wanting to watch Hellsing for the past 20 years. Okay.
For about 20 years or so. I don't know why it took me so long. But I can remember back
Joe has
then
a point.
in
If you don't have a
early
Kiss Anime
2000s,
watermark, are you
when it
really
came out, it was
an
actually
anime
very
reviewer?
popular,
Really starting
and
out on
it's a bit of a classic today. It was very, very highly recommended. It was really a must-watch anime back in the day, and it makes me a little surprised
I do appreciate
to find out now that
not doing
there's
like
some
the
real
borders,
mixed
so I don't
opinions
necessarily
of
think
it.
that's like a
Now we have
decision he's like
Hellsing
really
Ultimate, which I've
really
yet to watch, but I
contemplating
hear that it is
editing.
much, much better, and
Well, it's
everybody
fine. Yeah, I
likes
mean,
to
again,
just
he
crap
still
on
puts,
the
like,
re-roll.
video
There was no
footage of
Netflix.
himself.
You pretty much
Yeah.
saw whatever was on Toonami, and
I
if you
don't
wanted to
like
watch
that
something
meta
else, you'd have to go by
of like having a 4:3 video and like stretching it out, blurring it just to like fill
Yeah.
the screen.
Just leave
I
the.
don't-
You can just leave it black, honestly.
Yeah.
As far as like camera setup goes, I don't really know much about camera setup, so this is all right composition, you know. Probably like.
This is, I think it's a little bit older too.
Okay, let's see what they're doing right now.
Today we're taking a look at what I think is a rather obscure
It's a little bit
anime
nicer.
OVA from
Yeah.
1993, Big Wars.
You got a.
This
he has,
one
like,
was
a proper
recommended
microphone
by
now, you could tell.
Bob John 8581. Thank you, Bob John, for the recommendation. I appreciate that. So yeah, Big Wars, or should I call it Big Wars Red Zone Divine Annihilation. This is a 70-minute movie. It was based on a book, actually, which I have not read, but this is a science fiction movie set in the future where humans have colonized Mars, which is all good and dandy except for the fact that there are some alien life forms out there that don't want humans on Mars. So from the very start of the movie, we get all this text kind of getting us caught up to speed. Basically, all we need to know is that humans are on Mars and we're at war with this alien race known as the gods.
Yeah, I do think
Are they gods?
him
Are
being
they
off
aliens?
center was a little bit
We
better
don't
than him being in
know.
the center.
The
but-
humans in the movie
Yeah.
don't know. In fact, I don't think it's ever truly explained. You can make whatever you want out of it. And the story follows Captain Aku. He is this spaceship captain in the military, basically, and taking on some very dangerous missions here against these aliens. And what makes it even more dangerous is these aliens have abilities to...
I think it would be better if he also had like a different angle. Like I don't know if I necessarily I like this like
All of his videos.
You
do
wouldn't
this?
expect a magical
Yeah.
girl anime to... If you like very gritty, very violent, action-packed anime from the 80s... Today we're taking a look at a cult classic.
Yeah, I think definitely being like off center would help. I think probably also just like probably like structure these a bit better. Just writing wise, I'd say.
yeah. It's not as like gripping as the intro from like the last
Yeah.
channel we were looking at.
What's the saddest movie you've ever seen? If you didn't say Grave of the Fireflies, then you probably haven't seen Grave of the Fireflies. This is a movie I've seen
It's not
many
even
times
in
over the
this
years, and
video.
it still has me fighting back tears every time throughout the movie. And it's funny, I normally don't
Off center would be
watch
better.
sad
Maybe, like,
movies over and over again. One time
Having the
as an
camera below your eye line makes you look hunched over too. Yeah, it does. You don't want to do necessarily the complete opposite, which is Chris Stuckman has it like a bit too high above his eye line, so it looks like he's like sitting down, and you're like standing, and he's like sitting down telling you about something.
It does have the vibe of like I'm recording after my kids have gone to sleep.
it gets
It
people
does,
interested, and I end up showing it to them. And so I've showed this film to several people, and I think it's a very important one. If you're not familiar with
He
the
should lead
movie,
into that
it's a
aesthetic of
1988
like
film that was animated by Studio Ghibli.
a dude bringing
Now,
the
if
bros
you
down
think
to his
Mononoke
man
is the
cave. They gotta be
darkest Ghibli
quiet, not
movie
wake
out
up their
there,
wives.
then once again, you probably haven't seen Grave of the Fireflies.
Hey, you watched
It's
this
set
new movie,
in
Grave of the
1940s Japan, all that. So this is not like a graphic movie. I've seen some other anime clips, depictions of the terrible things that happened in World War II, and it shows, people's faces melting off and stuff. And No, this movie doesn't do that, but there are some shocking images, and moreover, though, it's just a long, drawn-out process of suffering. Now, in between all that pain and suffering, there's a lot of very heartwarming bits.
Yeah, I do
We
think
see
he could
glimpses
do
of
this
these kids,
tighten up.
you know, trying
what
to
he's
make the
talking about
most
a
of
little
it, trying to find
this is a
enjoyment
bit
and
too
happiness.
rambly, maybe. I think he could probably also improve his on-screen presence isn't bad, but I think there's also room for improvement.
Yeah.
Being on camera is hard.
That's why we don't do it.
That's why we don't do it. I have had to do stuff on camera before, and I fucking it's hard. It's really hard for me to look at myself every morning when I go into the bathroom. I just
It probably
light off now.
It probably is unscripted, but I feel like it would probably benefit from him even if he didn't want to do scripted, he could write his thoughts down to kind of maybe streamline them a bit. That's kind of how we do our videos.
Yeah.
I kind of almost do the thinking beforehand to kind of streamline it, and then I edit it, so it doesn't matter anyway. But still, I don't know, just tightening up a bit because presentation wise, it feels a bit meandering where it kind of is hard to engage and keep your attention, right? He's talking about it, and you kind of start drifting off a bit because it's not really concise enough or engaging enough, I guess is the way to put it. To start sitting on a medicine ball in front of a green screen.
God damn it. Just be a narcissist. I mean, this channel's alright. I don't know if it's a channel I like. I don't know if it's necessarily bringing anything to the table for me, though.
I think it's interesting to get his perspective. I mean, a lot of them are standard kind of reviews.
Instead of giving a number score, it should be should you let your kid watch this anime? And it's every time it's just no, don't let your kid watch
just a stick.
Smith Cats.
Probably shouldn't let your kids watch Grave of the Fireflies.
Unless you want to traumatize.
There's this channel I came across recently. Through their Symphogear video.
Okay. NEETByNature. Let me see. I make whatever I feel like making. I do like these thumbnails. That's the other thing I want to say. I'm not necessarily a fan of these thumbnails.
I think they're kind of the bare minimum. I don't think they're bad.
This one's
I think it's definitely better than the first channel we looked at, but
yeah. These are good thumbnails though.
Yeah, these are good thumbnails.
So
that's the thing about
their goddamn Symphogear video. Is this their most viewed video? Okay, no, it's one of them though. Do you want to just go through that then?
We can.
All right.
Symphogear might be one of the most anime series I've ever seen. It's hard to
really
find
funny,
a
by the
show
way,
that's over the top and that incorporates so many tropes and ideas from anime and general otaku culture. This is a show that takes
they can give us their
Tokusatsu
perspective on if this is a good
heroes,
video
magical
for
girls,
introducing
mecha,
someone to the
idols,
series.
yuri, and even cute girl shows, and blends them together into a new experience that separates itself from its influences and carves its own singular identity. Part of which comes from its absolutely ridiculous gimmick. The heroes' transformations are powered by music. They have to sing to fight. It could be in part because of this ridiculousness, but Symphogear hasn't gotten a lot of attention from most Western anime fans.
Hey, this have a really good presentation.
Tragic, because this is a truly finely crafted action series, and I think it hasn't reached a lot of the audience that would enjoy it. Do you like ridiculous, spectacle-filled action? Well,
no.
Symphogear has that. Do you enjoy a good old-fashioned idealistic hero speech? Symphogear has that too. Do you get hype when a show hits its climax and the theme song kicks in?
No.
Symphogear definitely has that. But
no.
if that's not enough to convince you this show is worth your
rhetorical
time,
questions.
don't worry. I can
like
think
the
of
font
another
he's using.
reason.
This is your first exposure to Symphogear? You should totally watch Symphogear. As someone who doesn't really like Symphogear that much, you should probably watch Symphogear. Trying to find small anime channels is so hard now. Search became useless overnight. How do you filter out shorts? Does anyone know?
You can filter by length. Go to the search real
Yeah,
quick.
so let me try this.
You will, unfortunately, the way they have it set
Yeah.
up, it's like 4 minutes to 20 minutes. So you will cut off people that are over 20 minutes, but you can always look up over 20 minutes. You
Yeah,
just will
but
get
yeah,
the
it's
really
not-
long podcast streams.
And then it's like you
Just
sort
like-
by upload date. It's like short. It's brutal. Yeah. Yeah, YouTube search. It's a company owned by Google, a search engine. How is their search engine so dog? I don't get it.
Symphogear focuses around a team of high school girls employed by a secret government organization who use the power of ancient relics to fight the noise. Mysterious monsters of unknown origins. These relics, when activated, give the girls the ability to don symphogear, armor capable of protecting them from the creature's ability to turn humans into carbon, effectively disintegrating them. The symphogears are fueled by what is known in series as phonic gain,
it also has to be
energy
annoying.
coming from the power of music. And this is where the aforementioned singing comes in. In every fight, in order to power their suits, one of the girls will sing their individual character theme, which serves both as the in-universe source of their power and as an exciting backing track for the viewer watching the action unfold. At the center of all of this is the series' main character, Tachibana Hibiki.
This is a good example of like, 'cause I'm not a fan. I guess I'm just not used to using like very like pumped up music, because I like to have a little more of a laid back vibe.
Yeah.
This is very good. Like, this is really keeping your attention.
Prior to the main events of the series, while being protected from the noise by Gungnir's previous owner, she is accidentally impaled with shrapnel
what are
that
the
breaks off
tags
armor.
here? Or the time codes, I mean. You get this plot summary, transformations.
Fuck this one up. Do you need small channel recommendations? Yeah, sure, drop them. Yeah.
Yeah, we will take recommendations. If you want us to talk about your small channel, we will talk about it too if you want.
If you want us to talk about your OnlyFans account, we will not.
Not on this stream.
Not on this stream.
You'll have to catch us on Pornhub.
Does Pornhub have live streams?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I've never seen that.
You think I'd go on Pornhub? Let's see.
There's a really news channel called Lextorious. I heard it's pretty cool. Lextorious. I don't know if I've ever heard of that one. Gyroach. I don't.
I'll pull it up.
All right.
Years
good
later,
channel.
she finds
Let me just go through their stuff a little bit more. Move on. Why controllers? Man, these are some nice thumbnails. These are not. Some of these are not so nice.
The older ones.
These older ones. There's clear improvement. This white border is honestly a good idea. I think that really helps.
I was not planning on watching Bocchi the Rock. Not only because I really haven't been keeping up with new shows that closely, but also because I already read Bocchi the Rock's manga a few years ago. And to be honest, I didn't really like it. So when I kept running into clips and screen caps
The music here is too loud.
of it, I initially just dismissed it as another hype
I think
show
the high
season.
treble
Be
is the
everywhere
problem
now
too.
and vanish later.
Yeah, don't be afraid of using a low pass filter on your music, by the way. Just mixing your music.
But while browsing my anime list, I happened to notice two things. One, at the time, it had a rating of above a 9. I don't put a lot of stock in mouse scores generally, but this was too rare for
I'm not really a fan. And this is a personal thing. I'm not really a fan when people are talking about fucking my anime list on a video about a show. It's no one who really cares about my anime list.
People who use my anime list.
is that like your audience though? Just my anime list people?
My anime list people? I think I'd probably put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger.
I mean, I even use my anime list, and I don't like. It doesn't appeal to me for someone to be talking about my anime list.
Yeah, let's talk about the My Anime List forum drama. What the fuck?
Skip to like a middle portion, kind of see how the video kind of progresses.
The visuals.
Improve on the character design. The originals fit right in with the other Kirara series. That is to say, they have large round heads, big eyes, small jaws, tiny hands, etc. The anime keeps this generally, but eases up on a few aspects. The faces especially are adjusted. They're somewhat elongated, and the eyes are moved slightly closer together, which makes them just a little less moe blobby. Changes like this are pretty common for Q Girl series, and the anime adaptations are often more aesthetically pleasing to me for this reason.
Bocchi the Rock is also quite good in how it animates.
If you want to pause, I think that's like a general problem.
Animations go
with like these smaller channels, right? Is when they do like anime reviews. It's like we don't know who you are, so like there's no context.
Movie, that sounds very menacing.
Who are you?
Who are you?
No.
What are you doing in my house?
We don't have any like context for like your opinions. So like if you're just giving an arbitrary number score, we don't have any like background for what that means outside of just the general nebulous consensus of scores, right?
For someone like Anthony Fantano, you need to have like a fuck ton of like reviews and stuff in order to like get an idea of like, well, what does a 7 out of 10 from Anthony Fantano mean, and how is it different from like a 6 or an 8?
Yeah, like I think that's part of what Shaves was kind of talking about. Like people don't put enough of like themselves and don't make it personal enough. Like you have to have like some kind of basis for people to kind of like use as a reference for your opinion. If you're just gonna make like these sort of quote unquote like sterile, I don't mean to say like it's actually sterile, but like the more like objective kind of reviews that you're wanting people to like take seriously in that way, but like no one knows who you are. There's not like a context for like your opinion. Do what?
Like I'm trying to like they wanted to know what channel it was, and I'm blocking the channel name. NEETByNature. The pros and cons of being a VTuber.
But yeah, that's been my thing about like I want people to be more like put more of like a personal perspective into their videos, like just as a general like rule of thumb. Because like watching a review, especially like when you run into the issue, which is like it's great for something like Bocchi the Rock to take off, because that's a really good way to find like these small channels that do a video on Bocchi.
Yeah.
Because like it'll actually recommend you like, hey, you watched 100 Bocchi the Rock videos. Here's 101. Here's 102. So you start finding like the really small channels, like it starts recommending you. So it's great in that way, but it gets really monotonous, like, which it's not gonna be a problem for most people, but for me, when I'm finding smaller channels and I'm like finding them through their Bocchi video, for example, you hear a lot of the same thing in each video, and then there's not necessarily a whole lot additive to like their perspective. So it would really help if a lot of these channels kind of put more of themselves into the video to like definitely to like differentiate them from the rest of the like, you know, the pack, I guess. So it's not just like it runs all together.
Mm-hmm.
Go together well.
What do we got next? Who are we looking at? I think we have like requests from chat as well.
Let's look at this one.
This 5 billionth Bocchi plot recap and cutaway gag with her getting thrown into boxes.
So this one is a new channel. Like he's posted one video.
Yeah, you need to get a handle on who someone is for reviews. It's why RLM still lasts as a review channel beyond doing funny character reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue that's kind of more prevalent when you're talking about something that is popular and has been talked about a lot. Off the menu.
Talk about off the menu.
I mean, Joe requests off the menu. I mean, not to take requests.
We said we weren't going to be mean.
But yeah, no, it's definitely not as prevalent when it's like an anime that no one's heard of, like Bono Bono or something.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
What?
What the fuck is Boro Boro?
Bono Bono?
Bono
It's
Bono?
like a blue bear mascot character. But I sent you to another channel.
Okay.
Now this channel has only got they've only posted one video so far, and it was featured on Anitube Digest. So some people probably have seen it. But it was
too many opinions is cringe, too much humor is cringe. It has to flow correctly to be entertaining. You see this a lot with gaming channels. They stagnate due to their top 10 videos.
My top 10 video games of 2021.
Yeah. My top 10 video games that came out July 23rd, it's just like what came out today somehow. Everything being a 101 introduction is tiring because if you want more than one perspective on some, yeah, well, I think that's kind of the thing. Is like we were talking about this earlier. There's like think of it almost like an ecosystem, and you have niches you need to fill. Obviously, there are going to be anitubers who are making content that is more accessible for normies who are not familiar with anime, and that's fine. But I think there should also be content made for people who are more familiar with anime than like someone who isn't, essentially. That was redundant. And that's like kind of like a niche I hope we fill to an extent.
Yeah, I think it's good to have layers to your video that you can appreciate like
an
maybe
onion.
Yeah, well, you can appreciate it as an introduction to the work, and then you can come back to it, appreciate it on a level after you've already seen the work, right?
Right, yeah.
Like something that kind of lasts outside of just the Super Gals 101 or something like that,
Is that what this video is going to be? This is almost an hour long.
This is not what this necessarily is. This is a very kind of comprehensive review of the show.
Okay.
It's actually a good video,
if you're
too.
a real anime...
How this is 3 weeks ago could have fooled me. We'll be talking about racism and sexual violence and such matters, and perhaps making unsavory jokes. Content warning.
Now, if you're a real anime fuck freak like I am, you probably like to go digging in the shithole every now and then. Actually, that's not fair. I shouldn't call my anime list a shithole. It would be more accurate to call it a glory hole, on account of all the glorious anime you find in there. So I was going deep in the glory hole the other day when a poster caught my eye. A poster that evoked primal memories that had been hiding in my soul. Memories that every true anime fan contains within them. Look. Look upon this image! You feel it too, right? Like I'm not crazy? When I first saw this image, I heard this song in my heart and in my mind. This is Super Gals. Or just Gals if we're talking about the manga. I'll be calling it Super Gals because I like the way it sounds.
The best video
and
I've
also
ever
we're
seen.
going to talk
This
about
was pretty
actual
good.
gals in this video. And I don't want any brainlets getting confused. You know, with all the Y2K revival shit going on around here, I'm surprised no one's talking about Super Gals. I mean, maybe people are talking about it, like far away from me where I can't hear it, but it really feels like this one slipped through the cracks of the Western anime community's consciousness. I'm resisting a strong urge to title this video some bullshit like the most Y2K anime ever, because that would be Platonic Chain, or the best anime you've never heard of, because that would be Kyokara Orewa. But that's a video for another time. But anyways, audience, meet Ron Kotobuki, the
People have
main
heard
character of the
Kyokara
story.
Orewa.
She's a 15-year-old gal
showing
who likes to
Bakuso's
hang
up
out in the
This
Shibuya
video is
shopping
like a
district.
mix
In
of
fact, she has
base
proclaimed
and
herself the
compromise.
#1 gal.
I don't
of
know how to
Shibuya,
register
which
it.
bears with it some responsibility, as she also keeps the streets of Shibuya safe. But more often than not, she's begging people to pay for her food, and in general, causing an
Heard of
even
this
greater
anime till now? Mumi
disturbance.
didn't-
Her
I just-
friends, Aya and Nyu, are also gals, although
Yeah.
it's worth noting that each
Super
of the
Gals is
gals
great.
is a different subgenre of gal. Over the course of 52 episodes, the girls get caught up in comedic hijinks, romantic entanglements, and general.
Yeah, I was gonna say that about the
To fill out
border.
the cast, we have
Like,
the two most popular high school
I
pretty
get
boys
that
in
he's
Shibuya,
doing this for like
Ray and
copyright
Yuri.
reasons. I
We
don't
have
necessarily
the
think you
Parapara
have to
dancing
do
king of
that.
Machida,
Like, I think if
Tatsukichi,
you're
and we have
well,
Ron's arch
it
nemesis,
depends on how
Mami
fast you're
Honda.
gonna be editing
It's
your
actually
stuff.
really,
Like,
really
obviously, we
important
edit our
to state
stuff
that the
so fast,
story is
it
set
doesn't
in
necessarily
Shibuya. I've
pick
never
up.
seen an anime care this much about its setting
I don't.
besides some high fantasy stuff.
Hey, bro, listen, I meant to say I never.
It does fit the aesthetic when you have like the.
Super Gals love Shibuya, and it's in every panel of the manga and every frame of the anime. In some way, this show is a lot like a high fantasy with the amount of lore it drops on gal culture. As a matter of fact, the gal subculture has an entire wiki full of lore. Real quick, let's head to the gal wiki. I know you're excited, but please remain single file and keep your hands to yourself. Don't go touching things, or you might find yourself irreparably.
Honestly, this video is actually great.
Some of you guys might already know a ton about this, but this is all news to me. I'm learning this as I write the script, so bear with me.
If
you don't know, gal, or gyaru, is a Japanese subculture that started in the 90s and peaked in the 2000s. The whole deal with it is that girls would dye their hair, usually blonde, and wear a bunch of fashionable clothes and accessories like decorative nails and stuff. A bunch of stigmas were attached to gals, like the idea that they're all promiscuous and easy to get with, or that they engage in enjo kosai. More about that later. A lot of Ron and company's problems in the show come from people misunderstanding what gals are and judging them unfairly because of the way they like to present themselves. At the end of the day, that's all gal is.
Yeah, we've already watched
At
3
minimum,
minutes,
it's
like
an
almost
aesthetic,
uninterrupted,
but at
and it's gone by
maximum,
so
it's a
fucking fast.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah.
Like, it's got a really good presentation to it.
I'm kind of angry this video doesn't have more views.
Well, that's why we're talking about it.
That's why we're talking about it.
Maybe it'll get more views.
The weeb crew bump. You know what I mean? It's like, did they keep this up for a full hour?
Here, he asks Ron to be his girlfriend, and she accepts.
This video would
Sounds
also
good,
benefit
right?
from chat.
Wrong! Ron is the last person you
Yeah, he
want
does
as
need to
your
put,
girlfriend. Cue the next
does need to
episode.
put timestamps.
Ron, while
Yeah.
still being Tatsukichi's girlfriend, mind you, holds a contest where the winner gets to be her new boyfriend. The contestants? Every single man in Shibuya. When Ron says she's the #1 gal in this district, she's not fucking playing around. At the end of the contest, Tatsuki in second place are tied for the lead, and Ron leaves without
They have
choosing either
12
of them, while
subs
directly
now. Let's
saying that she really would have
go.
dated whoever won that ridiculous contest.
And
They're gonna
Tatsukichi
like,
remains
looking
Ron's
like YouTube
boyfriend
studio
on
and be
a
like, why the fuck did
In
Kenny
this
Lauderdale
episode, again,
subscribe?
while still technically being Tatsukichi's girlfriend, Ron entertains the idea of going out with a guy she finds attractive.
Maybe
She
like when
flirts
this
with him
video
until
is,
he reveals
this
that
video
he
is
has a
done, we'll,
girlfriend
like,
too.
like, a
Then
link
she
to
stops
everything we
caring.
talked about.
Just a few episodes
Oh,
later,
I will
we see Ron
ping
on the
every
lookout
single
for,
person that we talk
quote-unquote,
about.
GL guys, or
They will know that we should
will
talk
know.
them on stream.
I actually wanted Ryo to hot that.
No, she has yet to break up with Tatsukichi. Then, after like 20 episodes of being together, Tatsukichi reveals that Ron has never once even said that she likes him.
Yeah, this video is
It's
great.
clear
I
that
would
Ron has
highly
some
recommend
shoujo-induced
going and checking out
communication
this full
issues, though.
video.
She relents by telling him that he is,
I don't know if we necessarily have
quote-unquote,
anything to add.
A-okay. In all
I think
fairness,
presentation, like, definitely just difference in
Yeah.
presentation, but like, I think I don't know if there's anything I can say to like improve.
Yeah, I think they have a pretty clear idea of what they're going for. It's the only way to. I honestly, Kenny, I really need to like do it because I'm in a position where I have subscribed to so many channels from like 10 years ago that I don't watch their content anymore. If I showed you what my like subscription page on YouTube looked like, it would look like a war zone. All right, it would look like Eastern Ukraine.
See, I subscribe to like almost every halfway decent like channel, like anime channel I come across, but I will feature like different channels that I think are better than decent. Let's put it that way. I'm curious to like what everyone's putting out, but I will act like we have a whole thing on our front page of like feature channels that people can check out.
Yeah.
2 different sets of criteria. So I came across this channel recently, which they're doing some cool stuff.
All right.
They also haven't posted in 3 years.
15% of videos were privately deleted or channel was striked in your like list. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, I was like, oh man, I wonder what happened to that. I want to watch that video again. I know I left a like on it and it's gone. You can't find it. It's not even like it says like it lets you know it's deleted. It's just gone, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, it sucks when like you come across a channel and it's like, oh, this video's got 10,000 subs, and there's like nothing on there, and you're just like, what was here?
Mm-hmm.
What were you talking about? How'd you get 10,000 subs? What happened? But that's like another heartbreak thing about like trying to find anime content on YouTube It's like you come across so many channels who like talked about cool shit, and then you come across them like 3 years later after they've stopped posting, and you're like, no, come back.
Come back. Is that would be this channel?
Yeah. Check out the Golden Bird review. I think we both watched Golden Bird.
Yeah,
we
we
liked
watched
Golden Bird.
Golden Bird's neat. Hold on. I was born January 8th, 1982, not from the Americas nor Europe, and English
He
is
has
my
a
third
he has like a
language. You're saying? Hello? Oh, I think
you dropped for a second.
I cut out. Yeah.
He has like this weird disclaimer that he puts. It's like, I don't know if you necessarily need to put this on there, but I mean, I guess it contextualizes things for people. Like, I guess.
If you're looking for serious and objective reviews, this channel is not for you. I am biased, never serious, easily satisfied, and nostalgic. I'm not here to tell you what to watch. I'm only sharing my anime/video game memories and opinion. Sigzion. Get him. Why do you? Is this all you're going to do for the entire stream show? My watch later has 4 hidden videos that got deleted. I don't use my watch later as much as I should, honestly.
This will be an exciting review to make because this anime is
Oh.
the definition of unique. Golden Bird is an anime film released in
Okay, their audio is a bit
1987 by
quiet.
Studio Madhouse, and it adapted the fairy tale of the same name.
He has very good
by
English,
Bob
considering he was like
I'm a big
English
fan
is
of
my
this fairy
first
tale.
language.
It has a lot of symbolism and underlying messages. So when I discovered this anime and knew it is by Madhouse,
Is this every video?
expectations were-
Is he like
Of
this
his?
in every video?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
My
insane.
I mean-
Scarecrow's this is just a Batman villain.
I mean, I don't dislike it. The thing it bothers me about this is like it's kind of obviously not in sync with what he's actually saying on narration. Because like when you watch what he's like,
yeah,
you get this weird like out of sync effect where he's like moving his hands in a way that doesn't necessarily feel natural to what he's saying.
Yeah,
that is like my one critique of this section is like, please just like actually use.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
It is different enough to be a standalone anime, but with enough similarities
Mr.
to make
Freeze's
some fun
favorite anime.
comparisons with the
It's a
original
VTuber
story.
kind of thing. It's soulful.
The anime story opens with a witch sending her golden bird to collect all the gold
This
in
could
the
be
world.
better.
Then we see the same bird stealing
Yeah,
the golden
you can kind of
apple
see
from
the.
king's
I
castle.
mean, this is like an editor
Furious
critique,
and
right?
dancing
Like,
This is an editor
culprit.
critique.
So
Well,
he
like
orders his
I can
three
see how this
sons
can be
to
improved.
have
I
a
do
night
like
watch
this
of the
like
tree to catch their predator. The two
schizophrenic.
oldest
That's
fall
there
asleep
are
while-
2 Wiis in the background.
While the
Why?
youngest brother Hans doesn't. Sees the golden bird and shoots an arrow and only retrieve a feather. The king is astonished by it and commands his children to hunt the golden bird and bring it to him. In their magical adventure, they meet the talking fox Lulu and go through
The music
trials
could
and
be
challenges
slower.
to achieve their goal.
Yeah,
a bit too loud.
Really,
Is a
it's not
hidden
that the
classic.
music needs to be
As a
lower. It's
fantasy
his
children's
voice needs to be
movie,
louder.
It almost did everything right with the sense of adventure, the wondrous
Either
feeling of
one.
a fairy tale, a
It's
journey
drowning
with
out his voice a little
payoff.
bit.
It's got the
It is
plot,
all
book
there.
comparisons. That's interesting. This is interesting. Weird, kind of sad
As for the
music choice,
differences
by the
between
way.
The anime and the original story, there are a lot, like giving names to the characters.
Is that
They are
old like a
nameless in
review where
the
it
book.
cuts to him inside a
But
haunted
other
house
than
every
that,
once
I
in a
want to
while?
talk about 4 major changes. Number 1, the format of the adventure.
Tell you about my Kodak
Initially,
printer.
all 3 brothers did not set out to go together. It is
How
one
much
after
money
the
I
other.
saved by
It
switching
always
to
starts with
Kodak.
the oldest until the youngest. Whenever someone fails, the
You
next
guys
one
nitpick too
follows.
much. This
The
channel
adventure
is
is a
great.
series of challenges set by the fox to
We're
reach the
auditing it,
destination.
alright?
The 2 lazy
This is
brothers
this is an
always
audit,
fail,
all right.
This is
while
the
You gotta.
Anitube Audit.
This is official.
Number 2, mystery
Trademark.
challenges. In the anime,
Stamp
there is
it.
only the Night Watch of the Tree and the Golden Key challenge. The
But yeah,
Golden
audio
Watch
is
and
is
Golden
more
Challenges
important
Good
than
audio and bad
video.
video
are
over good
present.
video with bad
I
audio.
wish
Absolutely.
They were there as
Yeah.
the only
I
night
think
Yeah.
yeah, I
they
think
have
audio
is
is
the
way more
length.
important
It is
than
15
video.
minutes long, and I wish it
Which
was
his audio
30
is
minutes
good.
longer
His
to
audio
be
is
in
good,
a
it's just
proper
quiet,
Movie
yeah.
length, and adding those other trials would be perfect. Number 3.
It's probably honestly
The
better
Witch
than
and
my
the
audio
Mystery of
right
the
now,
Fox.
given what
The only thing
my
I can
fucking
safely
audio
say
said
that
it was
the
very
anime did better
Scott.
than
Oh, it's
before.
definitely better than my
In the
audio.
book,
I'm
they
on
don't
fucking
show the
Discord
golden
audio right now.
bird's owner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
On
The
your
witch is
stream.
not there, and the only antagonist
I
You're listening
really
back.
were the challenges
I can't
and
listen
the
back.
brothers. So
Well,
adding a
listening back to the
proper
FD
villain is
stream,
a
my voice was like much higher pitched than like it usually is on videos.
Oh, is it?
Again, in the book,
Yeah.
there is no hints at Lulu's original form, so when it happened by the end, it felt like an ass.
Good engagement, honestly.
Yeah.
Look at that. 2 comments though. Why so many likes?
I love these channels that like talk about like stuff that people aren't talking about.
Yeah. Things that people have never really talked about. I guess like some people talk about Dallas.
Like
and
the
what they
video.
say, but
Yeah, like the video.
like
Sai,
the
what are
video,
you doing?
I can't. I'm not logged in.
Oh yeah, you're not logged in.
I'm not logged
I
in.
think we have it.
because
I think I have it liked on the Weeb account.
Obscure retro. Add it to the list, Mumi.
Obscure retro.
Good channel though. Yeah, sucks they don't upload anymore.
Yeah, we'll ping them. Hopefully they'll get the ping. Maybe they still use their channel. Come back, please.
Baby, come back.
We need you.
You can blame it all on me.
Goblin of
Oh, again, I was
Chaos.
thinking. Wait, do they have a video on that? They not seen it? Hell yeah, let's go.
What?
Getting with Sinky later.
Oh yeah.
Obscure Retro, they privated their whole channel at some point, so there's only a handful of anime reviews there, but it's some dude reviewing anime.
I saw the channel trailer, which I guess we'll pull up after this. It gave me like Grumpy G-san schizo vibes.
This is cool. I don't
novelization,
like this camera
writer of
angle,
the
but it's cool
Vampire
that you're looking
Hunter
through this.
series. I didn't bother to look for the anime though. It wasn't that important to me.
a nice rug.
But it was always
Hazel always stalks.
We don't want to review or audit the larger channels.
No.
I don't think it would benefit anybody.
No, we just get people from their channel doxing us in their Discord servers. You got the next one, Louis?
Oh, I thought you were going. Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
I'll show you. So this is the one that Kenny was just talking about.
Hey, it's one of those stories that go to the so aren't deep stories that aren't deep, but the anime, it's one of the
Yeah, you can fix this TV. Come on. Fix the TV for us editors that are gonna pay attention to that and nobody
Goblin
else.
these nuts.
Goblin these. Look at the. Look, I just saw like the channel trailer for this when I clicked on it.
That's pretty good. Obscure Retro official music video. I feel like I might have come across this channel before. Obscure Retro sounds.
Magic, give me strength.
Hey, 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 hey. That's pretty good. Fun. Hey, this is hard.
Yeah, this is very Anitube, but this goes pretty hard.
See, I thought this was going to be a video about wizardry.
This needs to be all of his anime reviews. It's just the anime
no,
wizard.
I've definitely seen this channel, but I think they are the only.
Don't think about boob.
It's me, Kenny, and this guy who have videos on
When
Mahjong
you're on a
Demo Steady.
motorcycle,
That's where I know this channel
is the
from.
lesson to be learned here.
Damn, we should have had him on the podcast with Kenny.
Goddamn.
We missed the only other people.
I don't. Let's do one that. Let's do an anime that doesn't have explicit nudity in it, though, just to be safe.
Surely they didn't have that in the video.
Maybe they did.
Elf
Don't call me Shirley.
17.
Let's do like this one.
Right before the race is about to begin, Sho pulls up to Bullet Rider and starts talking some shit. He's like, yo, this is the bike you rode 7 years ago.
Who is this guy?
I'm
Get
not
him on the
total shit
week.
at
This is
riding
Goblin
them,
of Chaos.
so it should be fine.
'Cause it's obscure retro.
Over the last year or so, I've come
Again,
to the
audio is too
realization
quiet.
that like 20 to 30
Where is his
of
mic?
anime movies and OVAs from the 1980s are like motorcycle animes. And I want to watch them all. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this one. It's called Circuit Angel.
Yeah, we need to collab with him on the
Starting
Weeb
Grid
Crew
from
We'll see, there's probably too
mixtape.
much headroom
pretty
here.
obscure, seems to be about motorcycles. I haven't watched this yet, so this is gonna be pretty raw.
A lot of these channels get really discouraged when they don't blow up. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, you must imagine Sisyphus happy. You have to enjoy the process of making the video as well. Like more so than like anything else, I think.
That's definitely kind of an issue with Anitube as a space, is like a lot of people kind of get into it thinking they're gonna blow up, or like wanting to blow up, and don't necessarily get into the video editing portion of it as much. And it's like more about the personality kind of aspect. Now, I don't think if you're from that perspective, you're more likely to burn out.
Yeah, either burn out or blow up.
Which, in this YouTube climate, not many people are gonna be blowing up.
He's doing videos into the void for the love of the hobby of not any of the fame. Yeah.
Well, you should check out the first video we talked about, or the first channel we talked about, I should say, because she was in a very similar situation.
It's one of these videos. Ducky's Anime Diary.
Yeah, this one.
This one's been going for 10 years.
10 years just talking into the void to 200 subscribers. Go back. We didn't really get a good chunk of like one of his videos.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, let's do like, what's the most popular? Donkey skin? Okay, that's not what we want. This isn't like, here, this one looks like Ringing Bell, but it's not Ringing Bell. Tell me what this is.
And Jack's kind of confused, but
it's very
just ignores him, and he's
very
like, "Figure it out, pussy!" and rides through the wall.
These videos get retarded. Alright.
'Cause it's obscure
This one's like louder.
Well, I think he's using it as like a hook, right? Like he just has like a clip from later in the video. Also, is that
and according
is that
to
a
MyAnimeList.com,
Futurama
this
figure?
is no one's favorite anime, so we're off to a good start here. Okay, let's check this shit out. Come on. This one opens up in a pretty dark yet mystical looking area. We're talking like stone fountains, rare aquatic vegetation, and a heavy sprinkling of cherry blossoms that simply can't be ignored. And here we're introduced to a man named Gwyn who's looking all sorts of depressed, and apparently everyone, including his best friend, has completely abandoned him, so that explains the sadness and depression, for sure. And this girl over here, Beth, is the
like your
only one
laid-back
who's remained by
coworker
his
explaining
side
what he
this whole
watched over
time.
the weekend.
So because of this, he gives Beth his horned
Yeah, not very
necklace
laid
because
back,
she's
I'd
the
say.
only one who can
He's
soothe
very
his
like
heart
enthusiastic.
or some shit. But Beth is a bit more
I feel like all
optimistic.
these
She's
channels
like,
we're
"Maybe if you
watching
just
that have like, you know, just someone talking in front of a webcam or something should just lean into the feel they have in their video, like almost like half of the bag, where it's like they have like their whole like, it's not even like a major thing of like just them being in like a VCR repair shop just talking to each other or whatever. It's like kind of do more of that, just like lead into like
Well,
this
something that would help
character.
here, unironically, is if he was just holding a microphone.
Eh.
I think that like giving him something a bit more to do with his hands would probably help with his on-screen.
Yeah, it would help with the screen presence, I guess.
Yeah.
bells and shit, and things look like they're
Every
about to
guy
go
who works
south
at
pretty
Costco
soon.
here
Thankfully,
in
Kuh
Canada.
knows exactly what to do. He just tells Jack to blow on his horn, which is now grown like 6 inches. So Jack does that, and it fucks her up pretty badly. She's not dead though. That was just like a
gonna
mirage
be like a plot
spell.
summary. I think based on like,
Yeah,
the
it
one
seems like a what do you call it? Like a
recap.
guy at the glasses kind of review. Yeah.
Okay. Please don't insult this channel. Bring it to the
Well, I mean, like not necessarily with the sketches, but like
Right.
you know the plot summary kind of thing. Yeah. That is
We
not
said
a
we weren't gonna be
flattering
mean.
comparison. I apologize for that.
Holding the mic enhances that slightly unhinged quality, maybe a little open mic vibe. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm doing. If you could see me on camera right now, I'm just holding a microphone, talking into it.
I had the microphone above my head.
Oh. I guess I could. Oh, hold on, fuck. I'm like
has an arm and everything. Not that it matters. I'm never on camera.
Yeah.
I don't even have a camera.
What do we got? What do we got next? We got some like suggestions from chat.
Yeah, this channel looks all right. I got
Do you
some
have-
more channels
do
we can pull up.
Oh, how many do we have left? Like for your list?
For my list, we got like almost 10 left we could go through. So it's not like
Okay, we've got a while.
we're running out. Yeah, it's not we're running out, but
Let's take some viewer requests then.
here was one that Kenny suggested.
Oh yeah,
which
this one.
the YKK video looks interesting to me.
Y2K?
YKK.
These thumbnails.
The Yokohama thumbnail looks nice.
This one's all right.
Yeah, that one's not bad either. Now the Fate one back there.
This one just feels like an intentional shit post.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mono no aware is the mispronunciation of a Japanese term literally meaning the awareness of things. And it describes a very specific feeling you might have felt, but that you didn't have a name for.
So
it's the feeling of moving away from a home you know you won't return to.
The Yokohama OC.
The feeling
I think
of
it would have
saying goodbye
benefited
to
from
a
like
friend who's
having
going
some
to
sort of
study abroad for a
transition from
long
that.
time.
It's almost like a
The feeling
jump
you
scare.
get when you look at a pet you know is getting old and who won't be with you for much
Get him
longer.
on the weave crew.
It's
No,
a bittersweet,
please.
melancholic feeling, but not necessarily a negative one. It's the feeling of understanding that there's an impermanence to all things, and that everything, good or bad, will one day pass, as our lives move on to new chapters, and why it's so important to cherish every moment. It's a feeling I recently realized I'm rather fond of, and that is evoked in certain works of art. I made a video a few years ago about Girls' Last Tour, and while I didn't know it at the time, it turns out that Mono no aware describes perfectly what one feels while watching it. In that show, the two girls, Chito and Yuri, are alone in a post-apocalyptic landscape, where, no matter where they go, they're seemingly the only ones left. On a superficial level, it's a mostly lighthearted series, showing the daily lives of these girls, but there's this layer of sadness to it, because they're blissfully ignorant of everything we know they lost, that we lost.
Yeah, it's a nice.
As
like,
an
essay
audience,
kinda
we
concept.
know that their journey is hopeless.
This should have used Delfino Plaza. Bro, does bro really
Yeah,
have
that's
to
my
use
critique.
the Aria OST? Yes.
That's my
I would
critique.
say
Should have had
the Aria
Delfino
OST I think is
Plaza.
adding a lot, honestly. Who's this? Yeah, this is a relaxing.
That
This is
with
a nice
no
video.
one else around, there isn't much hope for a happy ending. And even worse, we understand what a terrible loss happened. Chito and Yuri were born after mankind ended, and as such are unaware of all they will never experience. Making friends, having a family, having a place to call home, parties, dating, breaking up, everything that makes the human experience.
Try
Their
to go into
ignorance
how long is
shields
the
them
video?
from the incredible amount
This
of
video
loss
is
we as an
like 2.5 minutes.
11
in.
minutes. Skip to like. Oh, it's kind of the latter third.
as Alpha goes through a ridge that overlooks what used to be the city of Yokohama, which is now submerged in water, with the exception of its street poles, which poke out of the water and still miraculously light up every night.
Is this
to light a
4x3
city
or is
where
this
no one lives.
widescreen?
It's this breathtaking reminder of the world
I think it's
that used to
widescreen
be,
because it's got the
and
timeline
how
on there.
even after we're gone,
The video
it will
itself is not
continue
4x3.
being. This manga manages to intertwine these moments of awe and wonder with the day-to-day life of its characters in such a beautiful way. even as it introduces more complex sci-fi concepts.
Yeah, I don't know if
this
we have anything to
photo
say about this
camera
video.
Alpha has
It's
that
good.
only robots
It's
can
good video.
interface with, and that instead of
Good
taking
channel.
pictures,
I say this based on one video. This is a good video. Most popular video? Kaiki. What's this?
It's a ship. Oh my god.
Redundant. Let's try this one. This sounds interesting.
So if you've been around the online anime community for any decent amount of time,
Why
you've
are
probably
you
heard one of
doing
these
this?
lines. They're all from various works associated with the Fate Stay Night or Type Moon extended universe. And they've become a bit of a joke
instant
along
drop
the
in
years
quality, no.
because of how stupid they sound out of context. But that last part
This
is
video,
important
like the video component here,
because
sucks.
all of them mostly make sense.
I
Yeah, I think what
I
would
hate
improve,
this
though,
so
is if
bad.
you had like one of those like TikTok like running like mobile games playing on the alongside.
I hate when you like click on a video. It's like fuck, I don't know.
You get hit
Anime
with, like,
elf
CS:GO
review,
surfing.
and you click on it. It's Hearthstone. It's like no, fuck, what the fuck?
No, you can't do this to me. No.
Fucking hate that so much. Are all their earlier videos like this, or is it the whole video like this, or is this like the intro?
This is the whole video.
Ah, fuck. Are all their older videos like this? Like go to that Flip Flapper review.
Alice in Wonderland has been reinterpreted in many ways through the years.
I guess that's just like some kind of like editorial deal.
All classics in their own way.
Like they just
all
like, oh, I'm gonna do
interpretations of the
editorial, so
famous
here you
tale
go.
by Lewis Carroll.
Here's some
And Japan
gameplay.
seems to be especially fascinated by it. There are so many anime, games, manga, and other Japanese media inspired by this concept of a little girl wandering into a world that is not quite like her own. So today I'm here to tell you what, in the midst of all
But
of
is,
these
Alice
Alice-inspired
Wonderland, is that
shows,
isekai?
makes 2016's
Great
Flip
question.
Flapper stand out, and what about it makes it pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Flip Flappers tells the story of
Maybe not
Kokomi
the most captivating thesis statement.
Yeah.
a bored, seemingly
I don't think it's
ordinary middle
terrible,
schooler.
but-
Her life gets thrown upside down when Paprika, a strange girl with brightly colored hair,
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I think that sums up this channel. Pretty cool. Pretty cool channel.
He
Check
said
out
He said the thing. Get this guy on.
this guy. He's pretty cool. Get him on.
weirdproq wanted us to check out his channel, so let's do that.
Oh, who? Lex?
No, weirdproq in chat.
WeirdProc?
Yeah.
We'll check out his. Well, I pull him up. Pull up that adamnyu. That was another one someone recommended. Their
Pull up the
channel.
what?
The one I just posted.
All right. Got weirdproq from chat.
Oh, you pull. Oh, okay.
It's
never
gonna
mind.
suck probably. Well, you only have one like anime video because it's just like yeah. Let's just talk about Lupin. Here's my cool user recommendation. What the fuck?
Today I'm going to talk about a little anime show I fell in love with called Lupin the Third.
On the third.
Lupin the Third. Lupin the Third. Dava 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 da.
Naruto got his run.
Lupin the Third.
I think the intro might go a little long.
Okay,
Yeah, maybe.
Let's start with a little history. Lupin the Third was originally a seinen, or young adult, manga created by Kazuhiko Kato, but most know him by his pen name, Monkey Punch.
All right, so I guess there's like a few things just right off the bat. Is speaking from like the diaphragm definitely helps a lot. I would recommend even if you're just like recording into like Audacity, If you're editing in Premiere or whatever, you can still. I would recommend like you have some like spaces here when speaking.
Hiko Keito by Kazuhiko Keito.
So like that like space right there is something you can just very easily edit out.
But most know him by his pen name Monkey Punch. First published in Weekly Manga Action on August 10th.
Yeah, I would say speaking with like from the diaphragm, speaking with more confidence would also probably help.
1967.
I think this is like this is an issue that you come across with like scripted content, like in their first videos. Like we had, me and you probably both. Like I can't judge yours as much as I can judge mine, but mine definitely was like really kind of a weird energy to it.
Yeah.
Like I think it's definitely something to get used to, but you kind of have to at some point. Obviously, what we're doing now, it's much easier to like talk to somebody, have it come off as natural than to like read a script.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of have to have like, I think a thing you can maybe do is like when you're reading the script, maybe have like a picture of somebody or something, or like maybe have somebody there if you'd like to help you kind of like have that where it's not just like you kind of reading something to yourself, because that will just like that little thing will like help like give more energy to what you're reading, because it's like your mind's thinking like you're speaking to somebody more so than like I'm just reading something to myself. And like that kind of presentation. What's that?
I was gonna say you got to record a lot of stuff to get. You got to record a lot of stuff to get the confidence to be loud. My first videos, I'm basically silent. Yeah, that's another thing. So it's weird to it's just weird hearing your own voice. It's something you have to like get used to just through basically just exposure therapy. And it's a very much a practice makes perfect kind of thing.
I mean, my fucking first video, I sound so like because it was so awkward hearing myself. I'm like, this is not how I sound.
Yeah.
So like when you go back and watch my first video, like how I sounded that, it sounds completely different than like what I sound like on the Weed Crew stuff.
It's like one of those things where I first heard my voice and was like, oh, no wonder I have no friends.
I fucking hate myself. Oh my god. But yeah, it is a big like hurdle as like a content creator first starting out, unless like you came from like a radio background or something where you just would have gotten used to your voice already.
Your own voice somehow.
Go ahead.
Named Lupin III as a nod to the character of Arsène Lupin from Maurice Leblanc's book series and his misadventures with other crooks and the cops. It was only supposed to last 3 months, but became
like
so
that?
popular that
that's
Monkey
a brutal comment.
continued to make more, and soon in 1969, a 12-minute
it's not even like specific
pilot film
like what's wrong with it
by Tokyo Movie
you start having to like go through all the shit that you're like self-conscious of
to generate interest in a possible movie. But at the time, no one was interested in funding it due to its adult tone, as up to that point almost all anime films were directed toward children. Later, around 1971, the pilot film was reworked as a TV pilot with a new voice cast.
What's it called?
And done in
what's that
4:3 aspect ratio. It was only
what's that Adult Swim show we watched. Joe Paris. Does he have a Joe Paris sounding vibe to you?
Maybe a little bit. You need to move to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to get like that voice. But I can definitely hear that. Yeah, maybe lean into that aesthetic. You know.
Go watch Joe Para. And just lean into like that kind of narration.
That kind of like just
that could be your gimmick.
Music, I would say, obviously, that's gonna help. And
Kara,
yeah,
I'll link it.
Yeah, just making your voice a little bit louder, having a little more confidence, in what you're saying. Let's see what else we got.
I'll say from like our content, like audio, music will definitely help if you start putting music. It'll help like if you want to start doing more editing to like the audio, it'll help mask like any kind of like imperfections in the audio a bit.
Yeah.
It can help set the pacing for you if you're having trouble accomplishing that just with like your reading or speaking, because you can choose when to like cut to different music, and that can kind of segment your points.
What else? I'm trying to think. People seem to like my voice because I crank the bass, but then someone commented I look like Bobby Hill, and I almost deleted my channel. That would... Yeah, that just...
God damn it, Bobby!
There is like a flip side to everything we're saying, though, and it's like... And it's that it's very easy to be, like, too self-conscious.
Yeah.
And that would just also just completely fuck you. Because
yeah,
you have to keep in mind, no one. I say this while we're doing it, but no one's really going to be paying paying as much attention to your video, giving it as much scrutiny as you are. So it's one of those things where it's like you need to like be mindful of the fact that, you know, not everyone is going to pick out every minor imperfection that you are perceiving. It's not necessarily even that these are problems of the video themselves. You just think they are because you're the one making the video and you've spent so much time with it.
Yeah, it's very easy to like get stuck in your own headspace and like kind of start losing sight of the forest through the trees kind of thing.
Yeah. Just getting into the weeds.
These are basically like recommendations to basically help as far as like making your intro a bit more engaging. Like these are like kind of the immediate kind of symptoms that we're kind of point to is like, okay, the intro could be improved and be a bit more engaging if you kind of tweak this here, if you add this. So it's not necessarily that we're like critiquing your voice specifically. It's more like these are things that I think you can kind of do to improve your overall delivery and like presentation.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, there are people like me who have just awful voices to work with. And that can be a real uphill battle. Obviously, if you are ESL, you know, if you have like a thick accent, that can also be something that is like a real struggle to deal with. But if you're clever enough, you know, if you really like work at it, you can even like lean into that to an extent and find, what am I trying to say here?
Find your own identity. Find like your voice.
Yeah. Don't be ashamed of how you sound. Essentially. I smoke weed. The Weeb crew smokes weebs. The fuck.
What is another channel?
The Weeb crew is always high when recording that. Neither Mumi or I like are stoners, despite how we might look in like our like cartoon versions.
Yeah, you might think that we drink. Only one of us drinks.
Only one of us drinks, and it's not me.
I don't do like anything.
Yeah,
I'm
very
no
boring.
fun allowed. Here is another channel. So this channel here,
I'm high on life.
This channel we found through their first video, just doing what we said we usually do earlier, like just going through by like most recent uploads.
Talk to yourself 24/7. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Honestly, yeah. Just talk to yourself. You know, get used to like speaking to no one really. It's weird, but yeah. You get. What do you guys actually look? We do look like our channel avatars. We're obviously not as grotesque, but those are based on what we look like.
Yeah. See, the idea is if we ever have to like go in person and people actually like see what we look like.
It'll be like, oh,
the expectations will be so low that they'll be like, oh, they actually don't look as bad.
That Kodocha Girl is a good channel. Yeah, it's yeah, we're familiar with that Kodocha Girl as fans of Kodocha.
Kodocha Girl is based.
Yeah.
Look at the channel I just posted. We'll take a look at their channel.
Mumi is like this 2006 Hot Topic hipster looking guy. It is very funny how Mumi still
I basically haven't changed my aesthetic since high school.
You have not. You look like you're in high school still.
Time has just stood still.
You sound like you're in high school still.
Right
after I said, you know, it's not good to make fun of other people, like what other people sound like. By the way, Mumi, you sound like a child.
You sound like an effeminate femboy.
Next up, we got adamnyu.
Oh yeah, that was one that was posted earlier.
Yeah, so we want to talk about this. We got fear of abandonment. I have the most degen anime. You don't have to. Wait, I watched the most degen anime, so you don't have to.
Let's look at the most recent and their latest, their first video.
All right.
So we look at those two.
Those
are good. Those are good.
This isn't usually something I make, but I enjoyed making it. So
damn, he's going for the ASMR vibe.
You have to watch this like with 100% concentration.
Excuse me?
In the background or something while you do something else. So yeah.
Does he have what is it when you like cut the spaces out of what you're saying? Like through like automation?
It sounds.
It sounds like he's like clipping the end of his like dialogue.
It includes all the facets of who we are that make us distinctive, including our personality traits,
this is like the quietest one.
Cultural backgrounds, as well as our experiences in life.
It's one thing to look that way when you're 26, Blue Gundam, but I'm 31.
I edit audio in Adobe Audition. I don't know how it works on Audacity necessarily, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put a limiter on it and then have that limiter be set to, I think you generally want to go for like negative 0.5 dB, and that will boost your audio significantly to a volume level that people are accustomed to, essentially, because this is way too quiet.
Development of social media and expanding influence of technology in our lives.
50 compressors on it, yeah.
Who am I? Being more difficult to answer now than it has ever been.
All right, let's see if he gets louder.
Yeah, it might just be like the first video.
Anime has become more than just a form of entertainment. It's a medium that offers a unique perspective on the world. When we watch anime, we often find ourselves engrossed in a different world. We become invested in the characters, their struggles, and their triumphs. Their stories become our own, and we find ourselves feeling the same emotions that they do. It's this connection that makes
I know nothing
anime,
about audio mixing.
well, so special. Whether it's a story about love, loss, or even the end of the world, which Girls Lost Tour, anime has the power to speak to us in ways in which nothing else can. So, I want to ask you, when was the last time an anime spoke to you? One such anime that has fascinated me.
Well, I can't say an anime's ever spoken to me. I'm not schizophrenic enough.
Evangelion.
So,
at first glance, Evangelion.
There are a few things. I do think his voice is too wispy or like whispery, and again, this might be just something he's like doing intentionally for like the aesthetic, but he's also like he's too close to his microphone, so he's getting like that proximity effect. Ava mentioned.
Evangelion may just seem like another mecha anime, but as you dig deeper into the story, you realize that it's so much more. To me, it's a psychological work of art.
Anime every day,
it's a
yeah, I can see
masterpiece.
that.
It
Unlike
tackles
other
many
mecha
strong
anime,
themes of
Evangelion is about the
depression,
characters.
anxiety, and relationships. Today, I will be exploring these themes, and hopefully giving you a different insight to the anime. Okay, before starting the video, I just want to clear the room. You may be thinking, Evangelion's Midion is just another...
Okay, now this is where his vocal tone is like incongruous with his editing.
Pretentious anime, come on, stop overanalyzing One Piece is peak fiction. It's so fucking shit, and that's okay. Like, it's okay to not like a show. But I just want to tell you that you're all fucking wrong. To put it briefly, Evangelion tells the story of a teenage boy named Shinji Ikari, who is recruited by his estranged father.
Does he have a Patreon or a Fiverr? I will pay him to say Arya is beautiful. No.
To pilot a giant biomachine in order to fight mysterious monsters known as angels. And that's it. Well, not really. I'm just trying to make it.
Yeah, this is like, I don't know if this whispery tone necessarily gels well with like the comedic style of the video.
Yeah. I definitely think he needs to work on like his presentation. Like, I think there's a way he can make it work. He probably would just need to like contrast without like there's a way to make it work without having to necessarily change like the way he speaks. Like because I run into this issue too a bit because like that's why none of my videos by myself were ever comedic, really. Because like me just doing like narration, like it doesn't feel natural for me to start trying to like, hey buddy, hey, anime is silly, huh? Like whatever, fuck. Like I can make it work better when it's like I'll let the editing do the heavy lifting, and I make it like my voice is almost like a contrast, or like what I'm saying is almost like a contrast, like a straight man, I guess. I think you can make it work. I think he's kind of falling into the pitfall of like trying to conform to like the meta of sorts of like this kind of style of editing and like that kind of delivery, and not necessarily like being able to reach that with like his actual presentation.
I don't know if that's been done before. Hold on. Since you've made this joke, I now need to pull up the video.
What?
And now this is one of the best videos ever made. And I hope the stream does not get copyright struck because I put this on. Oh, I'm just now realizing the mistake I made.
Just mute it. Just mute it. Wait, scroll down. Go to show more. See if it's got license. Yeah, it would definitely get copyright.
Okay.
Yeah, just go watch this on your own.
Go watch this video. It's awesome. Here, I'll just drop it in chat.
Yeah, that's a pro tip for anybody that wants to use like music or anything in their videos. If you go to like a video, like a song to use on YouTube, and it doesn't have like the licensing stuff on there, there's a good chance it might not get copyright struck.
Yeah.
But if it does, you're probably gonna get copyright struck if you use it. Pro tip for anybody out there. That's not foolproof, so don't come at me if
who do we got next? Yes, pause policy.
Yeah, this is the guy that we found like through his first video when he posted it.
First video.
We were his first subscriber.
First and like second subscriber. So here's his first video. All right. You know, these are
that's not his first video, is it?
What happened to his first video? I think it was.
No, his first video was something different. Hold on. We can start watching that. I will look it up. Hold on. Go ahead and play it.
All right.
My cells are singing. I'm getting outpaced, but I'm not scared. All my cells are singing. I'm getting outpaced, but I'm not scared. This place is wonderful. People can fly. Despite being from 2014, Ping Pong the Animation outpaces many of its contemporaries. Ping Pong the Animation uses its characters and art style to express how we all struggle through life yearning to fly. Ping Pong is used as a vessel in the show to create conflict and represent life. When each character struggles to...
This guy needs to learn how to edit out saliva clicks.
Well, Roger, I think we were in a stream together when we found this guy.
Was the song? Yeah, Blue Monday was the song in the Amuro video. His voice reminds me of
overcome
Red
a
Sword.
tough opponent, they use their core values and beliefs in order to do so. When each character struggles with the game, their solution is a result of their mindset, beliefs, and personality. Facing these tough in-game battles is how
another
they face
like pet
challenges
peeve
in their real life, and the same flaws that they
please
face
do
in
not
reality
use
are the
video
same that
that's
they
got
face at the
subtitles
ping
on
pong
it.
table. There are many main characters in ping pong.
Like I will
and each
use
one of them
clips
goes through their own journey
with
and
subtitles.
metamorphosis.
But I'm adding the subtitles in post. I will not use like exported video clips that have subtitles on it because one, it looks bad. Like there's a lot of artifacting. And two, like if it's not relevant to what you're saying, it's just kind of distracting and not really necessary. So yeah, do not have text unless it's like something that you're like citing specifically, like a piece of dialogue, and you just want to have it on there.
What if the only thing available is hard subbed?
That is that is something that you kind of have to navigate around. Like I think I've used
edit the subs out.
I've used clips from Chibi Maruko-chan's movie before it had like a proper release, and it was like hard subbed and had like the big ADV or whatever logo on the side, and I just had to zoom in to like kind of crop around it. Is what I did for that. If you don't want to do that, I mean, it is what it is. You kind of just have to roll with it. But
Yeah.
for something like ping pong, there's no real excuse. Like there's like 1,000 releases. Like, you don't have to have hard subs on your video.
They all have flaws which make them relatable, and who they are and what they believe is illustrated in their play. Ping Pong has 5 main characters, which are Smile, Peko, Dragon, Kong, and Sakuma. These 5 undergo the most development and are given the most screen time. Although the show does a great job of showing plenty more characters. In fact, with each rewatch, I fall in love with a different side character. As I rewatched the show a few months ago, I really appreciated Oda. Next up, we have Kong. Now, Kong is someone who comes into the series already with crazy achievements and experience under his belt. He made it to the national team in China. However, when he meets Smile and Peko, he has already lost his spot on the team. His short-lived glory has made him bitter and angry. Kong is on his last leg in Japan and he knows it. He's fighting with all his might, similar to Dragon, as one mistake, one loss will cost him everything.
Let's see. What else? My favorite.
I will say I'm not liking these thumbnails generally. Like, there are some that are better than others.
Yeah, I don't think they're. I wouldn't say they're terrible, but
they're not terrible. But like, I don't really know.
I don't get
why we have Starry Night
ping
pong.
I don't get that.
I don't know what the significance of that is. I have seen his better sequel to Fully Cooley video. I'm not a fan of that video.
Yeah.
But overall, I think he's doing pretty good stuff.
Just doesn't get a lot of views.
No, so this is one of those channels that's like just purely like writing the algorithm, like throwing their shit into the void and like crossing their fingers kind of thing.
There's like no, because we have like a Discord server and stuff that we promote our videos on, and like I think that
post on Twitter. Oh no, the Discord server like helped exponentially. Like,
yeah,
there's no debate.
Whereas this is like a who is this? Can you get them on the pod? Pausepolicy is the new channel. Yeah, this is like an interesting case of where it's like, yeah, someone is literally really just trying to promote their stuff only by uploading it to YouTube, and that's it.
This is the kind of, like, when you see like it's hard when you see channels that are uploading consistently and they only have like 23 subscribers.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I help you? How do I reach these kids?
Select policy. Select policy sounds like an insurance term.
We should have Joe and Pause Policy on the same podcast, and he'd be the Pause Policy and Select podcast. What's another channel?
You have a video out today.
Vinland Saga Season 2 is about redemption. You have no enemies, and neither do I. This season is so much quieter. It lets every single scene breathe. It slowly tackles the internal struggles as well as the outward struggles in a slow and methodical manner. The farm has quelled the storm that was Season 1 Thorfinn. It is more thoughtful and kind. It is slower and more about conversations and learning. This show literally matured with Thorfinn, as Season 1 was so angry, hateful, and full of battle scenes. Thematically matching its main character, its only focus was on revenge. Season 2 steps back. Now as Thorfinn is enslaved, he reflects on all of his past mistakes and all he has hurt. He endures the slavery as it is nothing. He is much stronger now, strong enough to realize that he was a terrible person, strong enough to put down his weapon, strong enough to change. There to catalyze his change is Einar, his newfound brother and companion, someone who initially woke him up from his trance of self-pity and denial.
Are there Super Saiyan forms in Vinland Saga? The manga is only just getting to that
Goku.
Yeah, this channel's all right.
Yeah, he's doing everything right, I would say, like as far as production.
Yeah.
Like maybe he could improve the SEO a little bit, but it's not like irredeemable kind of. It's like the thumbnails look decent, the titles are good. Yeah, not a lot to critique on this one other than what the subtitles say.
Which I don't know if he's like still doing that even.
Yeah, it's not on
about
this
his
one.
past and denial about who he was.
So, next we got we have Z-Note Taku Reviews. This might be the first channel to like link their like anime list in my anime list.
Oh yeah. We always will look and like try to see if like anime channels will post like their lists on here.
Mm-hmm.
We always are like, you fucking coward, like if they don't.
do
Mostly
you have like
a
a
joke.
specific thing you want to watch here?
How long have they been posting? Go to the oldest real quick. How long have they been posting videos? That was
2
the
years.
latest. Yeah, a couple of years. You can kind of see like the change in their like format for like titles and thumbnails.
Mm-hmm.
They went from like the standard, the type of fucking SEO that no one's ever gonna click on, of like Super Cub, Z-Note Taku reviews, and it's just like a poster with like reviews. No one will ever click on that.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
These are better thumbnails right here.
Yeah, they've definitely improved.
Although
in
some
that
of these
regard.
are also not as. Right.
Go to that one. The real problem with seasonal anime.
Yeah, all right.
The spring 2023 anime season has more or less wrapped up, but let's leave that season behind for a moment and go back a little bit to the fall 2022 season instead. It's a time of widespread discussion and excitement, and there was reason for that after all. The Chainsaw Man adaptation was releasing, Mob Psycho 100 Season 3 was about to put a cap on a beloved franchise, Bleach was having its newest canonical anime installment after not having anything for a long time. Bocchi the Rock ended up being a show that nobody saw coming in terms of popularity and had a main character that so many anime fans related to. Akiba Maid War took on Yakuza-style storytelling in a 90s maid cafe setting and aesthetic, and The Eminence in Shadow became an isekai that even people who don't normally gravitate towards isekai gravitated towards. As was typical of an anime season, each new episode seemed to kick off a flurry of thoughts and commentary in forums, with people who were enjoying the season as best they could, and the people who were expending way too much social and mental energy talking back to that one person whose opinion is wrong for some reason. The usual business. And then, like most anime seasons, once it ended, nobody really seemed to talk about any of this material again. It all seemingly vanished into the internet afterlife except for the niche subreddits or Discord communities centered around them, as the winter 2023 season came in and brought with it all new material. It wasn't just the popular things either. Even the more unwatched things like Hikari no O or The Fire Hunter, that managed to fashion for itself a bit of a cult following as it aired, just evaporated into nothingness. In the coming of the new anime seasons,
I don't
the
have
stuff
anything to
of
say about
fall
our
2020
presentation on this one.
Well, I would say that, I guess in terms of this, it's like for their audio, probably would help to have like the room treated a bit. Maybe put like a deverb filter on if they have access to one.
Yeah, I
that's
do
like the
hear a
only
bit
thing
of like a
audio-wise I
roominess.
can really think of.
I think music would help too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, we didn't have music in our videos for a while either, and then once I put it on there, like, I can't go back.
Yeah, we've realized. Oh yeah, needs music. We got to that part of the tech tree.
I do like these kind of like, I forget what the name of these kind of videos are. Like the kind of general topic kind of videos.
Like an
They kind of
op-ed?
start a conversation. Yeah, op-ed kind of stuff. Where you just kind of start a conversation, kind of bring up something you see, and you're just like, "Hey, what's up with that? What's the deal with airline food?" Kind of thing.
Record in your closet like a professional. It's like one of the funny things. So many big YouTubers. I think Matt Pat originally got to start just recording his audio in a fucking closet because it's a it is basically just a recording booth, like the closest you can get, essentially. Music would be preferable to deverb, particularly if they're not audio inclined. Yeah, and deverb has very quick diminishing returns where you start to get a lot of just bad artifacting.
I will say with this video in particular, because I have seen this one, I also have left a novel of a comment on the video, which we had an exchange with. I didn't necessarily agree with what they were saying in this video.
Yeah, hold on, let me.
But I do like these kind of like they kind of start discussions, right?
These are some
this is an
big-ass
unsolicited
comments.
novel.
Goddamn.
I do appreciate like these videos that will like at least kind of start a conversation that you can like kind of build on. Even if it's like I don't necessarily agree, at least kind of gets you thinking about it. You're like, I haven't actually thought about this specific kind of perspective, I guess. And you can kind of augment your own thoughts on whatever you have.
It's kind of I think we've talked about this before. I really wish some people. I'm probably the only person on Earth who misses the reply video function on YouTube.
I feel like I've heard that a lot.
Like 10 years ago.
Well, the only bad thing about the reply video function was it created the reply girl meta.
Yes, that is why it got axed. But it's one of those things where it's like I think I do think that there's like a benefit to that with stuff like this, because like you want to talk about opening up a conversation. I miss the search function on YouTube. Also, YouTube DMs. Yeah, it's really hard to get in contact with people.
Yeah, we could just DM these people to have them on the podcast. Now we have to stream and like shit talk their stuff and ping them in the comments. It's weird that like we've had more success pinging people on YouTube than like anything else.
Yeah.
Go to a review of his, kind of see how they're structured.
Let's check a review.
If there is,
after all, it's in the goddamn title.
He is Znote Taku,
Journey.
sorry, reviews. There you go.
During nearly every episode of Kino's journey, the young Kino travels to a new country with their motor rod Hermes and learns about the people there, as well as the rituals and customs of those people. Much like Kino, we are traveling along with them, likewise allowed to glimpse at another way of life. But one immutable fact remains. Whether in-universe as a traveler or outside the bounds of the television screen as a viewer watching an anime, we are the outsider in the land. It is for that reason why, even though the impression
people that are doing like the somber kind of like
of their history,
opening
has such a resonance.
And then start talking, you need to have like a bit more of a transition.
Understand a country
ease you in, because it's like
freely to its visitors.
It has this slow kind of melancholic thing, and all of a sudden it's just Kino's journey.
Faces.
Like,
Kino's first taste of the traveler's way of life comes from, of all places,
their audio is way more compressed here too. I think they must have gotten a new microphone between this and like their latest video.
Yeah. I think they did. I think they do a lot of stuff on My Anime List, so they could have been the guy that did that, Roger. Yeah, I think they're doing some good stuff. I think definitely the improved audio quality helps. If you want any kind of like tips as far as like helping Google SEO wise, maybe not bother like putting Znote Taku analysis in your title.
Yeah. That sort of thing really only works for like a channel like Seth Zintak.
Yeah. Like you don't know if no one knows who you are, you're limiting your audience by putting yourself in the title. Like it also is not going to help as far as like putting you in any kind of algorithms.
Which you think it would, but it doesn't. Because, yeah, YouTube search algorithm is dog shit.
Let's do this one. The running theme of all these is they're all under 1,000 subscribers. Oh, not that.
Your criteria?
Hell?
You linked
that was the criteria on this one. Yeah.
You linked the exact same channel.
I know. What the fuck? Oh, excellent. Okay.
Clipboard
see what I did.
failure.
There you go.
Everyone laugh at this user.
So this one I watched their
Labra stories.
Labradoodle.
Is it a description? Oh no, it seems you've selected the About tab in search of... Actually, why did you come here? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Here, have a cup of tea. Oh, is this like a role play? I'm not gonna read a role play on stream. We're not that kind of channel. That's premium content you need to go to our OnlyFans for.
We're saving that for the Patreon. So on this channel, I came across it through their Humanity's Decline video.
Okay. Where is it?
Up second row. I am happy. The bread.
Second.
The bread.
The bread? Oh.
Anime has never been new to me. In fact, you could say that it runs in the family even though I'm genetically American. This is probably due to the strange occurrence that before I was born, my grandfather, uncle, and dad all went on proselyting missions to Japan to spread the name of Jesus Christ. With that said, it should be obvious
that's a heavy detail. All right.
Hey, they're putting themselves in their video.
So I didn't really grow up on anime. Sure, I watched Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh! On early Saturday mornings, and I have memories of my older sisters using the family computer to watch Oren High School Host Club, but even then my exposure didn't really go any further than the works of Studio Ghibli, My Neighbor Totoro, Ponyo, Castle in the Sky, basically anything and everything that I could find at the local library. To this day, my most viewed of Miyazaki's works is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, simply because it's the one movie my family physically owned. But it wasn't until early high school that my exploits into anime really began. Using the old Kindle Fire that I had bought for my mom for $50, I sat down in the school library and using the public Wi-Fi,
I think this intro is
Horizon
a bit long.
on YouTube. Embarrassing as it is, I didn't know about streaming services like Crunchyroll, mostly due to my crippling inability
Like, basically
to talk
all
to
of this
people.
is just
In
getting
other
to the
words,
fact
I never
that
joined the anime
they
club
watched
because the
Humanity's
upperclassmen
Declined.
scared me. Once they were gone, also known as my junior year of high school, I joined the anime club. And my anime club was weird. It had maybe 5 members who never talked about anime outside of the club. Projector would play exactly 2 episodes of anime, and then everyone would wordlessly leave. Additionally, we had these strange traditions.
Yeah, here's my entire history with anime is a bit of a tired thing. Yeah, it's kind of like part 1, early cinema.
Part 1, early cinema.
Yeah, maybe if like that's the point of the video and you have a really interesting story when you're like, when I was stationed in Iraq, and it's like, okay.
So okay, you can put yourself out there without necessarily like summarizing your entire life.
Yeah, a draw my life video.
When I say put yourself like in your videos, it's more like your perspective. I get like, because like if you say like, you know, the FD video that we kind of did a response to, like he was coming at his video from the perspective of a father or like someone who did corrective work, and that kind of came through with like their perspective in general, more so than just like him giving his life story kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think like for a video like this, I don't necessarily know if you need to have like this long primer.
You could start a video about any anime talking about this, I think.
Having seen this video, I don't necessarily
is it
think...
relevant?
Not really.
Okay.
Like it doesn't necessarily come into play like in any
I
greater
do
way, I
really
should say.
cinema, so how dare you?
I feel like it might be more interesting to pepper in some details so that the audience can slowly find out how you got into anime. Yeah, that would be a better, like, if you want to go into like your whole history, that would be a better way to kind of go about it as like
hints, like the Monogatari anime.
Yeah, like just have like as a hook, and like you just have like little like a breadcrumb breadcrumb trail
Christ.
leading into like the greater narrative if you want to have that in there. I think this is more just like Yeah, so I don't typically watch this kind of anime, but when I was walking down the street, I saw this on the corner, like that kind of thing. It's like you don't really need to have that primer in your video.
I don't usually like these kind of anime, but when I was like walking down the street 8 years ago, I saw a woman be dragged away by 8 men and did nothing to stop it. Anyway, I want to tell you about Nichijou. Higher history.
Let's skip to the later part.
That on the last week before
Get out of
Christmas
this
break, we
intro.
watched the massive party the villagers throw to celebrate the launch of the Endeavor, although that celebration is less for the project and more so because the villagers got their hand on a working generator. One episode later, Mediator destroys the generator because its existence indirectly harms the fairies, and, as expected, all work on the project slows to a crawl just days after the vigor that it started with. But humanity has declined. It is falling and will continue to do so until it ends, much like how the anime.
Oh, is it that one, or is it the one about
Anime
like
is
part
really
5?
weird. Such a statement should come as a surprise to nobody, but this weirdness hit me the hardest one day when I showed my parents an anime. I live close enough that we meet once a week for some evening activities, but since my dad is a software engineer, my mom is an English major, and I am a weeb, we don't have a lot of common interests. In order to potentially increase these interests, I convinced them to let me show them some anime. The first anime I showed them was Tanaka-kun is Always Listless. Great anime, very family-friendly, highly recommended. It's a slice of life starring Tanaka-kun, who is always listless. It doesn't get more complicated than that. However, while watching it, my mom asked me why the characters
Okay, so
sweat
having
so much.
seen this
She
video,
was talking about these little
it's
water
kind of
droplets.
about like, I guess you could say that it's justified having like the personal account because it's about him kind of dealing, I guess, with like his own mortality kind of thing, like the existential crisis kind of thing, and like kind of using humanity has declined, how it's kind of about Japan apocalypse, and like it's a post-apocalyptic work kind of thing, and kind of has like a more light-hearted take on the end of the world, I guess is the way you could put it, and like how that kind of helps him kind of address like his existential thoughts, I guess. So I definitely don't think you have to remove like the whole thing with your family and all that, but like it's just, I think it's the delivery a bit, like especially at the beginning, because it's like there needs to be more of a hook as to like getting you interested in this video, and this is a bit too meandering in a way.
And like the ticking of a clock in the background, I have long grown used to their existence and have kind of learned to ignore them. Later. After the opening theme finishes, Humanity is Declined plays a title card with the current arc's title and either the words Episode 1 or Episode 2. You see, rather than being a 12-episode anime, Humanity is Declined is a collection of 5 2-episode stories and 2 1-episode stories. However, other than having recurring characters, the same setting, and the same world building, none of these short stories have anything to do with each other. In Episode 1, Mediator...
I wonder if Action Button is an influence on this channel.
I could see it.
Yeah, I could see the possibility. Let's see.
I can see the comparison.
They got a video on Kyoso Giga. Or let's do sports. Sports.
No, this is 42 minutes. What are you doing?
Sport. Baseball, volleyball.
Sports.
Sports.
Anime.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I don't think it's a very good intro. I think my critique from the 2 videos we've seen would be to tighten up your presentation. Like we're 40 seconds in.
Yeah.
And you're just introducing the concept of sports anime.
Words.
It's still going?
It's still going. It goes is. How much longer is it gonna go?
Sports anime.
6 words.
Welcome to Labra Stories. When I was in 7th grade, I said chess is a sport, and everyone looked at me like I was out of my mind.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
that went
chess
on for
is a
40 minutes.
sport?
Then it would like.
It's just a nerd game.
Then it would be
All
like
you're doing is
avant-garde
moving pieces
art.
on a board. That's not physically strenuous. Chess is just a game.
Explain to the kids at home what sports
To
are.
this, I pulled out the definition of a sport, that being an activity involving physical
Oh my God, he's
exertion and
actually
skill
dumb.
in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. The pieces are moved.
Well, this is
so it's
again. This is
physical.
like starting
You
off
can't
with like
take back your
personal
decision,
anecdote.
demonstrating exertion and skill. You play against another person, and I like it. Therefore, chess is a sport. Of course, nobody wasted any time in saying that by this logic nearly everything could be a sport, and that's fair, but that's not to say the definition itself is wrong. It's just vague, which makes it a bad definition. I mean, chess is a sport. It's just that my classmates didn't think chess lined up with their idea of what made a sport, and I completely misconstrued the definition to compensate for my lack of justification. On the same token, there are quite a few anime that, while they aren't listed...
See, now I can imagine a version of this. I can imagine a version of this where you take the same anecdote, but you like punch it up a bit, you know, make it a little bit more funny. I think instead of using anime clips here, you could use like stock images basically to like retell the story.
Like almost like in the field.
Yeah, something along those lines. And I think you could almost make it like a joke on yourself about how you were just a bratty asshole, know-it-all little kid.
Yeah, there are definitely a few different ways you could kind of make it more punchy and engaging.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Shutterstock
main kind of
watermark,
takeaway from these intros is like,
yeah,
they're a bit too meandering feeling.
Well, let's see if we still do that with Kyoso Giga.
On December 6th, 2011, a 25-minute animation titled Kyoso Giga was uploaded to Nico Nico Doga, the Japanese alternative to YouTube, and in the following year an additional 5 videos ranging from 7 to 12 minutes in length were released. Later, on October 2nd, 2013, the original 25-minute animation was re-released on television with a new soundtrack and cuts as a commemoration for the 10-episode anime, also titled Kyoso Giga, that followed in the anime fall season of the same year. As an interesting note, Wikipedia says this commemorative episode is titled Introductory Chapter, Crunchyroll has it listed as Episode 0 Preview, and my subtitles have translated the title as Recap. But regardless of what this episode actually is, the first thing you should know if you haven't watched Kyoso Giga is that you should not watch this episode. Or rather, I don't recommend that you watch it first, but if you do, you should keep in mind that by and large, this episode
this
is not
a
canon
video
in regards to
on
the
Turning Red or The Cat Returns, so I don't know how relevant 9/11 would be.
I think this intro's a little better because at least we're talking about the show.
Yeah.
I'll have to like with the title of Kyoso Giga is strange and like explaining like the release order being strange. I guess we'll just have to see kind of how it plays out as like a narrative through the video.
Right.
But I don't think this one feels as like, okay, what's the point? Kind of he had with the other two.
Full Metal Alchemist. On September 11th, several planes were hijacked and crashed into the World Trade Center. Full Metal Alchemist. That's how like you would start one of our videos. That's like how we would start like a blurb and start one of our reviews.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Can jet fuel melt steel beams?
Oh my god.
Find out on this episode of The Weeb.
Yeah, now we're gonna get slapped with the fucking
anime.
Wikipedia
In
fact
fact, as you
check.
compare
God.
episode 0 to the events of the anime, there are so many inconsistencies
fucking
between them
things.
that the original animation feels like a strange fan fiction. Or maybe it's the other way around. In any case, it's obvious that while the characters remain the same between the two, many fundamentals had to be changed in the making of the anime for the sake of telling a much longer story. However, despite the 10 episodes being much more substantial, the second thing you should know about watching Kyoso Giga is that you will be confused. It's very common that Kyoso Giga gives
This is
you
all right. I mean, I
information
don't
only
dislike these videos, but yeah, I think there's like just some things, you know. It's like a clock, you know. You stick the key and you tighten it up, and then it's on time again.
Yeah, as critical as I've been, I did like the Humanity's Decline video. I actually watched all of it.
Anyway, bad channel.
I subscribed. I have
How do I
subscribed
report
to them. Reported.
I don't think you can if you don't have an account. Yeah, you
Probably
can,
a good thing.
Probably a good thing, yeah. What do we got next? We said we probably have like 7 or 8 more.
I have one. This one I just linked. This one. We can talk about 3 more. I think that'll be good.
All right. About 3 more. I think the next stream should be we talk about the things that I like. Specifically, I don't know. I think we could do like a stream where we talk about, because while you like look at like shit like this on YouTube a lot, I look at like indie anime.
Oh, you mean just like look at like indie anime channels?
Yeah, and like videos and shit.
Hmm.
Just have a stream doing that. Because, you know, we talk about this. We talk about these, like, videos. Like, wow, they get so few views for the amount of effort put in. I've seen animations that go on for, like, over 10 minutes and clearly took, like, months and months and months of work and get, like, 20 views. It's brutal.
I mean, I do have some of those channels linked on our thing, and you were like, why do you have these on the other channels?
All right, so what the hell is this channel?
This is kind of like a retro... We need to come up with a term for like these channels that focus on like retro stuff specifically. Like, I don't know, Boomer Anituber?
Boomertuber?
Boomertuber? No, because that sounds like it could be like anything old.
That's too general, yeah.
But yeah, they focus on like
how long have they been going?
Retro kind of stuff.
Couple of years, okay. It's a popular video. It's like
Can't use that word. That's our word.
Annie Boomer.
Annie Boomer.
Content. I need to rewatch this. Oh my god.
That's pretty brutal.
What the fuck? You show this on YouTube? I can see why that might be their most viewed video. Tier list video. Okay, well, let's. Oh, they talk about Arion. Let's watch this.
For this retro anime review, I'm going to be doing the review on a movie that's been a long time favorite of mine.
He sounds like the old weeb. The second guy we listened to.
And that is Arion. I would have assumed that this would be one of the more popular anime movies from the 80s and would be popular with the people who have seen it. I was surprised to find that on myanimelist.com.
This is so monotone.
Yeah.
He's keeping the exact same, like, pitch.
And analyst.co. The scores for this one were way lower than I expected.
The lack of
actually
music is
received
also
very
not
poor
helping.
scores. On Analyst, it
What's going on
received
with his
only
voice?
56%,
Well, it's a lot of vocal
and
fry
on
for
my
one. He's
anime
very
list,
close to the
it only
microphone, and I
received
think
a
he might be
score
too
of
compressed now.
6.13. These sites are often skewed towards having higher scores for the newer anime
but yeah, it's
and
really just
poor
because he's so
scores for
monotone.
older anime,
Anituber
but I was still surprised by how
critical.
low the scores were. So I'm going to do this review and let you know what I think about it. Leave a comment down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about this anime, if it's something that you've seen before. Arion is an animated movie released in March of 1986.
Kind of such a lazy call to
by
action,
Sunrise
though.
Yeah, he sounds so unenthused.
Leave a comment in the comments below. Tell us
leave a
what
comment
you
on
think
this
about
web
the
zone.
show.
Maybe he's gotten better.
It's like just like insult their mothers or
In
something.
this
Get
review,
engagement
I'm going
that
to be
way.
talking about one of my favorite mecha anime series. That's going to be Giant Gorg. This was a 26.
I legitimately do not believe you when you say that this is one of your favorites, because you sound so dead inside.
This is like a gun to his head.
This
is why he's not on
TV
camera.
anime series that aired in 1984. It It was produced by
Again, I think
Studio
this kind of falls
Sunrise
into
and
what we
was
were saying
directed
with,
by Yoshikazu
weirdproq
Yasuhito,
stuff
who was
is, like,
involved in the creation
it's
of a
just
lot
hard
of
to,
great
like,
anime projects,
read a
but is
script.
probably best known
Yeah.
for being the character designer for
In a
Mobile
conversational
Suit
tone,
He's
yeah.
also directed some great
Yeah,
anime
it's
like
not as necessarily a
which
skill
I've
that
done
you're
a
gonna
review on this
cultivate in your everyday
channel, as well
life.
as Venus Wars and Crusher Joe.
He prefers the
Lore
little
opens up
boys.
with our main
SoundCloud
character,
rapper name.
Yu Tagami, traveling to New York in accordance with his father's will
What
to
if this
meet
guy
up
has
with one of
sleep
his
problems
former
or depression?
students,
Damn,
a
you
scientist
guys,
named
that's
Dr.
cold.
Wave. Before his
I mean, it
death,
could just be
Yu's
how he
father was
speaks again,
studying an
but-
island called New Austro Island, which suddenly appeared in the distant future year of 1990 in the Pacific Ocean,
Why
about
does he
2,000
sound
kilometers
like
from
that?
Samoa. Yu travels to New York to meet
Goddamn.
Dr. Wave to find out more about his father's death and why
After
he was so obsessed with studying the
You say that, Lex. I am familiar. There is a. Let me see if I can find it. Because there is a YouTube channel that I am aware of, where he's like. The conceit of the channel is I'll just find it. And I'll
island. When he arrives at the address that's given to him by his father, he meets Dr. Wave, a young scientist who's extremely obsessed with studying New
I don't think
Austro
this
Island
background-
and discovering whatever secreits it holds. After
I
New Austro
hesitate to
Island's
call it
appearance
music
10
is
years
helping.
prior, all information about the island had been suppressed by a corporation called Gale, which had taken over researching the island. Dr. Wave wants you to travel
Sounds
to the
like-
island
like
with
the-
him
the
so they can
Denpa
learn
noise.
it's
Static?
It's a little bit too industrial. Yeah, here we go. So this is a channel called The Process. This is not anime related, but this is a channel called The Process Shot.
This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen Burial Ground in Italian.
He's stuck in a haunted movie theater. He's been stuck there for a very long time, by the way. 2 years. Talks about a wide range of movies, too. He's been fucking trapped in this goddamn movie theater. Alan Tutorial? What the hell is that?
Just like science mystery theater.
Science Mystery Theater? I don't know what that is.
Oh, you know, it's like the boomer version of this. Being stuck in a theater.
Okay, I don't know what this is. I'm going to watch this after the stream.
Mystery science theater, that's what, right? Is that what I said?
You said Science Mystery Theater.
Mystery.
Are you
God damn.
okay? It sounds
Having
like you're
a
having a
stroke.
stroke. Go oldest. How to leak on a piece of paper.
What?
This seems like haunted content. Not cursed, haunted. Spooky clown makeup tutorial. Yeah, this is like. This has like it reminds me of like a How to Basic, but yeah, I'm scared. I'm like scared.
What? What is?
Yeah, I'll check this out later. Thanks for showing me this.
My favorite
The
Anitube
island
content.
secrets firsthand together. At Dr. Wave's apartment, he
Yeah,
also meets Dr. Wave's sister,
I would
a young girl
work
named
on your
Doris,
music
who becomes
choices.
the main female
I
protagonist.
think
Or
these are
don't.
music choices from the show they're talking about.
And somewhat of a love interest for you. And along
waiting
with
in
their
that one
dog named
video, like he
Argus,
was.
this group of 4 makes up the group of main characters for the majority of the series. Shortly after meeting at Dr. Wave's apartment, the group is attacked by a group of people who are working for Gale. The group flees and tries to meet up with a friend of Dr. Wave, who Dr. Wave
How about some interesting stuff? It's a good intro, by the way. Just like
In
short
this
to the
video, I'm
point.
going to be talking about a few of my favorite horror manga anthologies. I'm going to limit the list to one anthology per author, because many of the best horror manga artists have multiple anthologies that I would recommend, and I don't want to fill up the entire list talking about collections from the same few authors. The
I feel like this
collections
guy
that I'm
could be
going to talk
really
about
funny,
here today,
honestly.
for the most part, are a little bit
If he
lesser
just had, like, a
known,
very, like,
and are a little
dry
bit more
sense of
deep
humor.
cuts into horror manga. So if you happen to not be too familiar with horror manga, I'll
Well,
just
Hakase
recommend any
Reviews,
of the
if you have a
short
sense of
story
humor.
collections, and I'll recommend any of
Links to
Masaki
your videos.
Nakayama's works, such as Fuwa no Tane or Koisho Radio. I'm not going to go into any details on any of these collections in this video because Junji Ito's work is so well known and so often talked about. And I've already made review videos on Fuwa no Tane and Koisho Radio, so if you're interested in hearing about those, you could watch those videos. So with all of that out of the way, the first manga that I wanted to talk about is going to be Mist Story by Go Nagai. This is a 1-volume horror anthology released.
Does he talk about horror news? That'd be interesting. Has he heard of horror news? I don't know if a lot of people have heard of horror news.
I'll link the next 3 we can talk about.
Right.
So whenever you want to move on to those.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't really have a lot to say apart from maybe like if you can try not to be as monotone. Top 10 most wanted. Well, here we have something for Kenny real quick. We have Anime Lost Media.
Number 1.
In this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and instead of talking about anime that I have seen, I am instead going to be talking about anime that are currently. This is a category that takes up a pretty high percentage of the entries on the Lost Media Wiki when it comes to anime, but it's a category that doesn't really interest me, so it's not going to make it into my top 10. I'm also not going to include anime lost media that potentially might not exist, so definitely am not going to be including things like the famous Saki Sanabashi or anything that potentially might not be real. So with that out of the way, let's get started. At number 10, I have The Star of the Giants versus Astro Boy. This is an anime crossover special that aired on June 9th in 1969. It was a collaboration between the two studios, Tokyo Movie and Tezuka's Mushi Productions, where they pitted their rival characters against each other in a game of baseball. This anime makes the list because, as far as I know, this is the first anime.
Is it thematically fitting to talk about lost media and have your video be lost in the algorithm?
Crossover with some older, lesser-known characters, but as far as I know, this is the first, and if so, it holds a certain amount of historical significance for being the first crossover event in anime history. It does rank a little bit lower on this list because I'm not sure how.
I can't find it in a Google search, so it's lost.
It's a short 20-minute episode that I think really is more passionate on the popularity of the characters at the time. I can't imagine the contents of this episode being really all that special, but it does have significance.
Should be audio only,
such an early animation and possibly the first anime crossover to ever happen. In 2017, 5 minutes of the 20-minute animation was uploaded online. This animation came from features on a.
All right, what do we got?
Yeah, it's a bit weird that he's saying this is lost media. It's literally just right there. He found it. We did it.
We lost the baby. I found him. Oh, what's next? Gray Link.
I've seen this. So this channel I've seen around quite a bit. They only have 500 subs, but their thumbnail game is pretty good.
Yeah. Clearly, like improvement as well, because these are obviously better than like the Star. Not that these are bad, but yeah, definitely getting better.
It's like the Weeb Crew.
It's like the Weeb Crew. What do you want to watch first? Like Fooly Cooly or what? Well, how do you find this channel?
I think I found it through someone's sub list.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do the Fully Cool. Well, no, let's do Loneliness first. That was a 20-minute one.
All right.
It's one of the early ones.
There is the scene in the existential nightmare that is Welcome to the NHK.
Big editors.
Hold on. Still got some views too, yeah.
There is the scene in the existential nightmare that is Welcome to the NHK, where the main character, Tatsuhiro Sato, enters his dark, unorganized, and small single-room apartment and plumps down on the table.
Like the Dark Souls OST.
A contract by a girl who essentially asks him out, even though he actually liked her back. The life-sized magical girl statue opposing him suddenly comes to life and starts talking. It asks him, "Aren't you lonely?" What follows is the people in Sato's life so far in the anime appear in his room and berate him on the fact that he and only he is responsible for his loneliness.
So talking about our life
sign
story, how we got into
contract.
anime, explain how we got to every
There
Anitube
is a
video.
similar-ish version of this in the 2010
Let's
Misaki
detail all the
Iwasa's
bad decisions
cult
in our lives that
favorite
led us to this point,
Tatami
Mumi.
Galaxy, where a stinky, long-haired, long-bearded, socially deprived protagonist who is stuck in
I like the
infinite
aesthetic of
4.5
this channel.
tatami rooms goes off
Yeah,
the
this is an
deep
interesting
end.
way to avoid copyright.
And as the realization
What have they
strikes
got
him
going on in
that
the
he may
background here?
never get out of this realm and that this is what he is
It's like an
now,
ultrasound.
as he drifts through hordes of tatami rooms
Have you
of
ever
his
fucking
other
seen an ultrasound
versions
before?
in parallel worlds. And
Have you seen a
there is
3D
also
ultrasound
another
before?
anime that I don't even know if I
Wasn't
should
aware we
talk
had
about
those.
because of how obscure
Yeah.
it is. It's about a teen boy who pilots some really grotesque robots and goes into deep psychological turmoil. You've probably never even heard of such a concept before, so I'll leave it at that for now. Although at a fundamental level, these are
That could've been
vastly
tighter.
different anime telling different
Ava
stories and with
mentioned?
different characters. What we are here to talk about
Should make a
today
drinking
is one
game out of it, like a
aspect of
bingo.
them that I find very core of
We can do that
my
on a
being,
stream,
as
just
well
Anitube
as everyone's. Regardless if you're
drinking
a full-blown
bingo.
Hikikomori,
Ava
a
mentioned,
socially
take a shot.
born, shut in, or you are a healthy university
We'll get everyone
student,
drunk and
or
except
just a
me because
typical
I don't
high
drink.
schooler
I'm
called
gonna
in by the
fucking
government to
just
fend
force
off
you to
interstellar
drink.
beings, you probably have felt
That was
this.
good.
You probably have
Makes a
felt
video about
the
Berserk.
ever
We have
so
one about
present
Berserk.
feeling of desperation to connect with somebody, regardless of how many friends you have, which, assuming you're watching this video out of your own volition, you definitely do not have any. So all three of these shows have a few things in common. First would be their psychedelic visuals, from the talking conspirators conjured up in Sato's mind to Japan, but is applicable to all countries of the world. Sato wants to make money to support himself. He wants a girlfriend who loves him. He wants to make his mother proud and not leech off of her. But all these are mere fantasies, as he can barely even get out of his front door. Every time he steps out, he can hear the whispers of gossip, of judgment. He feels that people look down on him. They call him a hikikomori.
I feel like that clip
a
was
neat,
used already.
A lowlife, and he
That's
accepts
a
it
real
and
struggle,
decides to
when it
never
comes to, like,
go
these kinds of things,
outside
is, like,
again. He makes up a conspiracy
having to
theory
reuse
of
clips
the
after a certain
NHK,
point.
an organization
Yeah.
that
Virgin
keeps some
core
people
anime?
down
God
for the
damn.
others to look down on. He is lonely, and whenever things go bad when he tries to better himself, he falls back on the conspiracy theory. However, as we learn, this conspiracy is caused as
I
a
think this is a kind of video that like just tells me what I already know, you know? Like I've seen I'm rewatching Welcome to the NHK right now, and it's just like, yeah.
I think the good thing about these kind of videos though is like it can kind of get you thinking about it, and then like maybe from their perspective they have like a slightly different take that can kind of
Yeah.
help you augment like something that you might like a detail you might not necessarily thought about.
No, I've already thought it. I'm smart.
Oh.
I've thought of everything.
Look at the Dark Souls one, Breath of the Wild and Dark Souls. Let's see how they do like gameplay footage, even though it's not anime.
Almost a month ago, as of writing the script for this video, the much-awaited sequel to Nintendo's 2007 installation into the Legend of Zelda series, Tears of the Kingdom, came out.
I thought
You
everything.
see,
I thought the subtitles.
Breath of the Wild is probably
I
one
thought
of
the
my
subtitles said
favorite
the
games
Three
of all
Kingdoms for a
time.
second.
I spent every waking hour of
I was
my
like,
summer
whoa!
vacation of 2018
Legend
in
of Zelda: The
Hyrule
Three
as this
Kingdoms. Now that would be a
androgynous
fucking awesome
short boy.
game.
I seriously
That would be a banger.
love it. I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet, but what I have done is watch 2 streamers and a YouTuber play it for hours upon hours, and if you have a problem with me giving my opinion based on that, then watch this Nakey Jakey video and shut up. Anyways, I do think Tears of the Kingdom is a great game, and I'm
You ever
looking
just
forward
cite
to
Nakey
playing
Jakey
it
in
whenever
an
I get to
argument?
it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that once I play it, I may even
Yes.
regard it as one of my favorite games of all time as well, but I can't help but say this. It misses something that Breath of the Wild has something that really made me fall in love with the game, and something
How
that
do you
is
know?
quite
Some interesting
challenging
editing.
to explain
I may not know anything
why
about
it
Zelda,
is
but I
so
watched a lot
special.
of Twitch
Just to be
streams.
clear, this is not a critique of Tears of the Kingdom, since it's not fair to judge the game based on something that it isn't trying to do. But what I would like to tell you is this special something. And to do that, we need to look
his
at
naked,
how
shaky
both
source
the
in the
games
description.
open. Tears of the Kingdom begins after a couple of unspecified
We do have
years
sources
right
cited,
after the events of Breath of the Wild.
Look, there's Naked
Although,
Jake right now.
judging from a side quest involving the daughter of a couple we bring together in Breath of the Wild as a part of a side quest, I'd say at least 5 years since. It starts with Link and Zelda exploring a cave containing murals of a prophecy. They stumble upon Ganondorf, and Zelda's thrust back in time, and Link's rescued by a magic right hand. Basically,
JSTOR link spotted. That's how you know. That's how you know they did research. Is this fucking
I think
picture I've been
like
looking at?
presentation-wise, they're there. I don't know if there's anything to
Yeah.
like tighten up.
Yeah, mostly I just I don't know.
bombings by
Script-wise, I guess I'm not interested.
Mm.
the US and
Oh yeah, that's gonna be just a matter of just like let's
Yeah.
talk about subject you're
is
not
a
interested
story
in.
about losing control in a time of total annihilation.
What sources they cite on this one?
Could get higher res scans of this manga.
Hmm. Archive.
Alright.
Of civilization. The year is 2030, and the fictional city
Pause.
You think they have any
of
kind of
Neo
inspiration from
Tokyo after World War III. In
from
the
Joe on
streets at
this?
night, there are
Maybe.
biker gangs. We follow one
Little
such
bit,
biker
maybe.
gang composed of high
There a
schoolers
he?
from
Yeah,
the
I don't
Youth
know.
Vocational Training School. The gang is led by one of its students, Kaneda, who is one of the central
Unfortunately, I
characters
can no
of
longer
the story.
check pronouns
The
in
crew
bio 'cause I
comprising
can
of
no
his
longer
classmates,
upload
which
Twitter
includes
like
Tetsuo
open Twitter.
Shima, a rather
God
introverted
damn
and
it.
outspoken
Oh,
right-hand
I'd
man
check
of the
for you.
leader, and who also has a sort of an inferiority complex towards him. The place they are biking to is the old city, where some sort of huge bomb had gone off, leaving it like how it is. You quickly understand that Neo Tokyo
Pretty into the stream, got a bunch of new subs. Yeah, just subscribe to everyone we talk about, except for the Weeb crew. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, as I said, think of all those channels we're talking about. Think of this as just a shout out, more so than a critique.
Let's go, baby. Weeb crew bump.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, it's a neat channel. What do we got next?
Should be 2 more, I think.
MSC 836. Okay, we got some minimal presentation and 2 videos.
2 videos, once a year.
Evangelion mentioned.
So this channel is interesting to me.
Why is that? Okay.
Well, you'll see.
That's Joe's font. There's some title scene as well. How the hell did you find this?
I don't remember.
You gonna say something? Is there any commentary in this video, Mumi?
Yeah, it's text.
Is that it?
That's why I'm saying this is interesting.
Oh, it is interesting. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's definitely unique. They're talking. This is like interesting analysis too.
Yeah, both their videos are good. Definitely gonna limit your audience not having like narration, but
But I like this. He's like that guy on Twitter who draws green lines on people. What's the channel, by the way? The channel is MSC836.
Yeah, I will go back and add time codes and links to all the channels that we talk about in the VOD, the playback. You guys know we heart giant robots, yes. Yes, we do.
They don't really put up much stuff, though. Can't put this up on my second monitor while I eat food. Yeah? Yeah, that's actually, like, that's interesting. Because, you know, yeah, if you do have... Because a lot of people will watch YouTube videos in the background and just, like, listen to them. But this is this is doing visual analysis, and it is forcing you to look at the screen.
Yeah. That is an interesting, like, way to go about it. It's not like this is, like, something that people talk about a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not like, it's not like it's like, oh, they're just talking about something I could get from another video. Like, this is actually something that people don't really focus on.
Yeah, this seems to be pretty exhaustive, too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Even though the video is just drawing some lines, it's drawing your attention to things you wouldn't have noticed otherwise, generally.
You have not brought up Read Token. I don't know if I know that channel. Maybe I do.
Let me see.
Oh, I do know this channel.
But yeah, this is an interesting channel. I guess they do the same thing with Gridman. So.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
She, her. Okay. Yeah. It's a good channel.
I do quite like this content. I wish they had more.
I wish they had more, but I could understand why this might take a while, even though it is just drawing lines.
It's very insightful.
The real lines in motion.
And they only have 96 subs, so we could easily get them to 100 with this stream.
Next we got Yeliab.
This would be the last. I think this one is like not necessarily one that I don't know.
Which Avatar characters would say fuck?
It's kind of based.
So what are we talking about this one?
Let's do
How do you find this channel?
Probably just do subs.
Okay.
Someone else will sub to them. They already hit 100 subs. Let's go.
Weeb crew bump.
Weeb crew bump, baby. Yeah, I guess let's just look at
Dark Avatar theories.
There you go. Licorice Recoil is amazing. You like Licorice Recoil.
This is a known fact.
2022 was home to a plethora of great anime, from continued shows like Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan to new shows like Chainsaw Man, Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Alright, first things first, get some just sound padding up to treat your room. Music's a bit too loud. Also maybe a bit too compressed.
Summertime
Do they already have merch for their channel?
Do they?
Or is that like that shirt is their icon?
One show stood out last year, and unlike these other shows which gained mass popularity, this one did not have a pre-existing audience. This one is not an adaptation or an expansion of a pre-existing IP. It had no pre-established audience, unlike pretty much every other anime that aired last year. Therefore, Licorice Recoil had to stand on its 2 feet and prove to the world just how good it is. At the time Licorice Recoil was airing, its studio, A1 Pictures, was also releasing another anime called Engaged Kiss, which unfortunately did not receive the same
camera presence is not bad.
Licorice Recoil did. Licorice Recoil showed last year that even
lighting's alright. I think lighting can be improved. Stuff like here is a bit too bright.
With the odds stacked against it,
I do think the lighting could be
improved. Loved anime of the year. Since its successful release,
well, they got like that shadow on the
published about the show and its characters,
left side.
And a new anime project has been announced. So, what makes Licorice Recoil so special?
You know, not everyone needs to have bisexual lighting, Mumi.
Let's find out.
The Persona music is an interesting choice.
Produced by A1
Oh no, we're
Pictures
gonna get
and
copyright
released
claimed.
in the
Fuck!
summer of 2022, Licorice Recoil is an original story.
Wait, is it
that
claimed on the
follows
channel? That's not claimed on here.
Sato. They were
It's video game
adopted
music.
by DA,
Usually
which
video
stands
game
for
music you can get away
Direct
with.
Attack. DA is a secret organization that focuses on crime prevention. DA
That's why everyone uses
adopts girls
Delfino
and trains
Plaza.
them to fight and kill. They are called Licorice. Their methods revolve around eliminating people who are
Okay, so yeah,
intending
this is literally
to commit
this
a
is
crime.
literally just you've not heard of this before.
Art and animation.
Music and sound. Okay, so it's like your standard review.
Go to art and animation and see what they say.
Anime uses is not too dissimilar from other anime by A1 Pictures, using digitally clean visuals, strong contrast, and thin yet defining line work. However, there definitely is some KyoAni inspiration in this show's art style, and this was probably influenced by the fact this anime has a lot of slice of life elements in it, a genre that KyoAni thrives on. Togina herself looks like she was pulled right out of a KyoAni show. Aspects of the animation that resemble KyoAni are the realistic body proportions, A1 Pictures...
I mean, we did make that joke. She looked like Chitanda.
Did we?
Like, I think, not in our video. I think we made when we were watching it.
Okay.
But it's like, they look like Sword Art Online characters because of the same character designer. I don't necessarily see Heion or KyoAni.
Yeah. This guy has
That's kind
of a sassy energy to his hand gestures.
Slim down style for the characters, and the head shapes are softer and more rounded. Even the background artwork is softer than what is typical of A1 Pictures. The background artwork is very good, the style remains consistent, and there is a lot of
Yeah,
hidden...
this kind of just feels like a My Anime List review with how it's like set up.
I will say they're making a lot of like sweeping statements. Like
Yeah.
A1 Pictures is this. It's like, well, it's a studio.
It's a massive studio.
What about the?
It's
Yeah.
been 2 days since I've uploaded anything. I have to come up with a good video idea.
It's been 2 days. Meanwhile, look at us.
God damn. I feel like we're getting called out.
Is that you? I haven't seen you on the tube for 2 days. Yes, Father. I'm trying to think up of a new video to do now. You're yesterday's news. This is today's news. You're reading a tabloid? I read them to feel something. Mostly rage.
These bits are hard
Oh
to
yeah?
do right.
I can make you feel rage with this! Why do you have that?
Like the opening bits we have for our videos, a little bit behind the scenes, is that those bits are usually like 5 minutes long, and then we edit them down to like less than 30 seconds. Skits with
30
weird stuff.
seconds. I usually edit it down to less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, so, because they're bad. We're bad.
I make it
We're not
work.
I
in
also
editing.
have this! Impossible! No son of mine watches that trash! I'll do you one better! Collecting
I think this was
anime
the
is one of the
critique I
worst
had with like
hobbies you can
Colleen
have.
stuff. Is like, no, you don't
Yeah,
need to.
those opening bits are
In all
rough.
seriousness, though, anime Blu-ray
Then again, our
and
sense of humor
DVD
is also kind
collecting
of
is
fucked.
becoming endangered.
Yeah.
People
So
don't
maybe,
typically
like,
buy
their target
physical
demo,
media
like, is
anymore
more
and
into
opt in for streaming services. The problem with streaming is that the image quality is decent at best, bad is the norm. We have no control over when the shows that we love get taken away from us. We are at their mercy. I hate streaming! Did I also mention I'm a YouTuber? Maybe you should quit. How do you quit being unemployed? There are a lot of problems with streaming. Which is why I prefer physical media, which comes with its own problems. Why can't I have it easy? So one day you decide to buy an...
Kind of reminds me of Gigafrosty.
That same kind of sense of humor.
Yeah, also British.
You know who has a-
broad? Yeah.
You know who has a base?
DVD or
Oh, Scott the Woz is another. Yeah, I can see Scott the Woz.
two, and over the months...
I think Scott the Woz is much funnier though.
You've accumulated a small collection. Not enough to fill one shelf bracket, but enough to store in a cupboard. Which is great if you're a minimalist, but why would you be a minimalist? You only live once. Spend your hard-earned cash on commercialized products. The small collection has
Yeah,
a
I
charm
actually
to
now
it.
see Scott
It's the
the Woz
beginning
a lot
of
more
something
now you
special,
mentioned it.
and one day you'll look back on it feeling nostalgic. Or
Or if you're indecisive, you'll start an anime collection and then move on to some different collection. Work on your attention span. This is my anime collection from 2013, the year I came out to my family as an anime fan.
He's also like shouting. Please stop shouting. Please stop yelling at me.
Why are you yelling at me?
Please stop yelling.
We all start somewhere. Don't start here. This is my first anime DVD. Death Note is great, but this isn't a TV series.
They combined the first 25 episodes into an hour-and-a-half long film.
And it sucks!
I got it back in 2011.
I have DVDs. Like, I have a Ghost in the Shell DVD like this. And
with like the weird ridges on like the plastic?
Yeah, these
Is that what you're talking
DVDs, I think if I just, if I threw them against the walls like lightly, they would just turn into dust. They're so poorly made.
Sucks!
I got it back in 2011, just after I started getting into anime. I would be given pocket money to
And
spend
this has
on
very
food at
much like
school.
the,
Instead, I saved that money, so when my family and I went
like
out on a
20
weekend,
like
I would
mid
buy a
2010s kind of vibe of like PBG, like Peanut Butter Gamer, or like fuck, who was another one that was like that? Like the Normal Boots kind of crew, or like the Completionist. Like it's got that kind of vibe as far as the presentation. It's definitely different. Like it's a different kind of content than what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it though.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
It's not like
I'd love for this guy in Akase to do a podcast. Normal Boots, early Jontron. Yeah, early Jontron, yeah.
Look at their channel again. I think they have like a playlist of like go down. Oh no, go to like their homepage.
Oh, homepage?
Yeah. And then they had like a playlist somewhere.
World
Go
of
on.
Anime Reviews, multiple play. You should be watching Taco Life.
Discussion videos.
Recency
Go to that
bias?
recency bias one. That looks interesting.
I'll handle this delicately. Hello, everybody.
Gamester
What
81.
I wanted to talk to you about today is recency bias when it comes to the anime community, because I am
How old is this
guilty
video?
of it, and so are
4
you.
months.
Probably.
Dang, he got a new camera in that time.
Yesterday, the anime of the year 2022 was announced by Anime Trending. I don't know if it's because of recency bias or not. It placed a certain show very high up, and I rated the same show very high up in my list when I made my best anime of 2022 list. That is Butchie the Rock. Do not get me wrong, Butchie the Rock is a fantastic show. Definitely watch it. I love it to bits. But this is a really big but. On reflection, I
love
think there are
big
better shows
butts.
that year. Now, I'm not undermining how good Butchie the Rock is. I think Butchie the Rock is a fantastic show. Let me make that very clear. It deserves as much love as I gave it. However, I think other shows deserve more. Well, I've also found that when I look back on last year, I don't think of Butchie the Rock as I do with other shows. Butchie the Rock doesn't have as much of a lasting
Like what?
effect on me. I still believe it has the best scene from any show last year. It definitely has emotion. It definitely makes you feel something when you watch the show. But other shows, I think, did the same stuff better. But
Okay.
Butchie the Rock
Like-
still did it fantastic. That's what I'm trying to make clear. So
Okay,
that's
the
why
pro-
trending.
This video is too unscripted.
The problem with like something like this is
Needs
like,
to be
is
less
this
British?
like that big of an issue? Like, if you like the show,
Yeah.
I don't. If it's like a show that you really hate or you thought was really bad, and it was like voted as like the best of the year, and you just like a huge issue with it, I could see a video like this. But it's like if you already like the show, is there really that huge of a discrepancy that you would take issue with it being like the quote unquote favorite or whatever? Because it's like it's not my favorite either, but like if it's someone else's favorite, I mean, it's not like I think it's a bad show. It's not gonna be like, well, why the fuck is that your favorite?
Yeah.
That's kind of like a weird thing to like get hung up on. And I don't know if this is like a topic for recency bias. Like, is he just saying like it won because it came out last, even though, I mean, you had like Mob Psycho season 3, Chainsaw Man, Cyberpunk Edge Runners technically came out in the same season. Like, it was a lot of good stuff that season. It's not like it aired, like all the good stuff aired in winter, and then like it was the only good show that aired in fall. But he's not like really explaining his point. Like, I guess he pulled up this list, so maybe he's gonna like explain like why.
16,386 votes to Butchie the Rock, which came in first place. I wonder if some of the people who voted for it voted it purely out of recency bias. Because at the end of last year, when I did my best anime of 2022 video, Butchie the Rock came third place. And I would not put it at third place now. And in fact, I put Chainsaw Man at number 2, and Chainsaw Man is not number 2 anymore. I'm not going to remake that video. I'm still very proud of how that video turned out. It's kind of like a timestamp of where my mind was at that time because of recency bias. Because if you look at that video, you'll notice that quite a lot of the shows in the final 5 choices were from last season, the full season. So as fantastic as these shows were, and definitely deserve.
Yeah, I don't know why you're saying recency bias when Chainsaw Man and Bocchi both end at the same time.
Yeah, I don't. My ranking, and I think it may have influenced a lot of people who voted for some shows in Anime Trending's list. I'm very curious to see how Crunchyroll's list will turn out because they did not include full season.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're tuning in at the end of the stream.
Decisions.
Or the end of the stream.
Even though I was against it when I found out that they were not including.
Thank God we did not stream for 6 hours. Only 3.5 hours.
I'm for it now. And I mean,
was it 3.5? God damn.
Yeah. We started at 7. It's like 10:30 now.
God damn.
Well,
I think it's a cool idea to do these kind of videos, but it's like, I don't know. This one's like, I mean, you could talk about recency bias. I think that is like a legitimate thing to kind of discuss.
Yeah, there's a thing. There's stuff to talk about there. I don't know if this is really the context to have it. Like, let's just.
I think people like put too much stock in it within like a year context, though. Because like people often complain about, like, well, that's why we took out fall from anime of the year discussions because of recency bias. It's like, I don't think that matters. Like,
yeah, you're kind of throwing the cart out with the horse.
It's just kind of silly.
There's so many anime YouTubers like this with 1 million subs that I don't know what I'd get from him. Yeah, that's another thing. Doesn't really feel like he has like a super unique voice.
I posted that one channel in the chat just as like example of like a kind of a based because we were watching his like anime collection. This channel is a channel that's been going on. This is not a under 1,000 subscriber channel. They actually have like 8,000 subscribers or something. Yeah. But this is kind of a base channel where the dude's just been posting him buying Blu-rays for like 15 years.
15 years. Oh my god. It keeps feed me, Seymour.
Yeah, he's
like
posts
a randomizer
updates.
Video. Those are cool.
Yeah, this is kind of some base content. Like, this dude's just posted out there every day, every week.
Subs don't mean anything. Have you seen how many Minecraft channels have 1 million subs? I'd rather have 300 subs if every single person comments. Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, yeah. We definitely run into that with our videos because, like, I try to tell people we have 2,600 subscribers, but we're more like a 1,000 subscriber channel at best.
Yeah, best.
Like, so many of our subs are from like shorts that don't necessarily cross over into our like actual videos.
Right, yeah.
So like it definitely like shows up like obviously the podcasts are going to have their own kind of audience to our actual reviews or like the edited videos. But even on them it shows because like we don't get like the same kind of subscriber engagement from those even. Yeah, I don't really have like this weird. I didn't want to critique this guy. I just thought this guy has a cool channel.
This guy has.
He's just...
Oh my god.
Well, it's time for
it looks
a
like
tour
he lives
of the
in a
apartments.
store.
Guess I'm not sure how well the camera's picking.
This is only in 2017. It's probably grown since then. So let me sort by newest.
Yeah, sort by newest. because he posts like an update like once a week.
He doesn't even have like space.
Too much he's able to do, and
being
some of it comes off as a little bit of
My
a stretch
brother
for
in
how it works.
Christ.
And I bet it was, if this was based off of manga, it was probably better.
He has them just like stacked right by his stack of
It's like we
papers.
watched the channel we were just looking at. He has like his like wall of shit. He's like talking about
His screen-
collecting anime. And then you look at this guy, and he's this is like these are precariously. These are gonna fall over.
This is the kind of guy that gets like lost and no one like checks on him for like 3 years. He fucking crushed into his DVD collection.
Fine. I think it's not necessarily out of
Ooh.
do something like this later in the series, or this. Well,
I like how you just have the big box of skip beat right in the middle, right
Yeah.
by his head.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool
Yeah, that's probably a good place to kind of end.
Yeah.
I think. Again, we probably will do more of these.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have like themes to them. Maybe we'll do like indie animation channels or like manga channels and stuff. Because there's like, I don't think people realize like how segmented the anime space on YouTube actually is.
Yeah, go ahead and name drop some stuff, Kenny.
Yeah, name drop everything. Just right.
Yeah, next one though, I'd like to do like let me see if I can like let me grab like my search term that I have.
But yeah, we'll do more. Cause like going through channels, like trying to find through like other like people's subscriptions, like their subscription lists and stuff. You realize like how segmented the whole space can be. Where like there's like entire spheres of people who are all friends with each other that post videos that I've never heard of, and like I actively will look for anime YouTube videos. Like I know that's a big thing with like people being like, "We're all the women in the anime sphere." They're there. They're all in like the manga sphere and like travel Japan spheres though. Like they're not necessarily in the take an anime like review sphere or like an anime video essay sphere. They're all talking about traveling abroad and figure collections and manga halls. But yeah, the anime sphere on YouTube is fucking massive, and I think people can kind of get segmented and not realize how much they're missing out there. People saying that don't know about Shoujo Cast.
So yeah, and I think next stream we'll talk about stuff like this. Let's go.
Yeah, I think this would be a cool like reoccurring thing to do. Maybe we'll have guests on if you want to come talk about channels with us. We wouldn't mind having people on. We can pick like different themes for people. Yeah, just kind of basically just platform different channels. Maybe try to like find these channels that aren't getting like found by the standard like Anitube space.
Yeah.
Give them a platform.
Talk about.
Plus, we literally just do this anyway. So it's like we might as well just stream it.
Yeah,
Free content, baby.
But yeah, I guess thanks everyone for coming out. What channel was that? Which one?
The one you're just press the forward button. I'm sure that it'll find it.
This one? Well, no, because like you have to remember the stream is lagged.
I think that's the one he was asking. The most recent one you clicked on. Yeah, okay. Two things. If we talked about you on the stream, feel free to reach out to us. We could probably have you on. We'd love to talk to people. Also, we will collab with anybody. We will. I almost want to like do merch explaining how we will. I won't. If we do it, it'll be a nice surprise for everybody. They'll love it.
Yeah.
The ones that don't know it.
Yeah.
You'll love it. But like we will literally collab with you on anything. We will do anything. We will come on anything.
Anyway, yeah, thanks everyone for coming out. Next stream probably, I don't know when the fucking next stream will be, but it will happen.
Probably not next Sunday.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
'cause
I might be going out of town next Sunday
yeah,
or
I'm
next
gonna be
weekend.
doing like Otakon stuff over the weekend. So maybe the weekend after that. We're gonna try to stick to like a Sunday schedule though. Sundays at like 7. So
yeah, so 2 weeks. That's what we'll shoot for. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right. And goodbye.
Goodbye.